No? Alright. Okay. I knew I messed up, so I think the audio's coming in clear. I know I should probably just start right off the bat, huh? But because I wait so long to start these things, so I never know if they're actually streaming properly or if it's just because the connection doesn't work. But hey, everyone who's joining, what's up, you guys? We made it tomorrow. It happens. And it is insane how fast it has been since the announcement for Miles up to now. But still, all you guys joining, what's up, Diego, Salty, Matthew, Oscar, Mystical Gods, Lyric DV, sorry if I'm missing anyone's names because the chat's going so fast, PS5 Fanboy, The Spider, Eddie Martinez. I think you guys can hear me, by the way, too, just to make sure I'm not muted like I've been all those other times. Just leave like a number 1 in the chat, or just a spider emoji or something that you can hear me, because I'm sure you can this time. I made triple sure that you can. Otherwise, I would have been super embarrassed, but that's just how it goes for me. Audio's good, great. Your timeline: Seaview 1990 or 1966, 2-liter Esteban, Jill AA7, Ken is Nub. What's up? No Name, The Spider. All you guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing all right. Especially hope you're staying safe. That's the most important thing, because things have been getting intense, of course. But hopefully you're all staying safe. Also getting hyped for the PS5 launch, which is tomorrow. All you guys who hopefully secured pre-orders, good on you. Me, as a status update, I have not. Still no sight in view for a PS5 for me. I did pre-order, fun thing, which I guess I'll just say here now, since I'm assuming you guys who are watching also follow me on Twitter, or if you don't, follow me on Twitter, but mainly if you do, you might have figured out what I've been doing online beforehand to get prepared for this game. And I guess we'll just start off now, because I know we'll be here like forever just in the main menu talking. But yes, this is the PS4 game, of course, not Miles. I did pre-order Miles Morales on PS4, which I am getting tomorrow. Lower the background music. See, I knew it was loud. Sorry about that. I knew something was off, either the volume for the game or something with me. But, let's see. This cutscene will probably play out, but if I can check the settings beforehand, before we start swinging, then I'll fix them for sure. But, what I'm trying to say, because I know I flip-flop and I barely read the chat, but what's up, Elijah Peters, Swezzy, GG007, Isaiah Neal, what's up, you guys? Miles Morales hype. Leave a like if you're excited, too. I never really say that, but if you're excited, this is like the grand finale of Spider-Man PS4, of course, and then building up to Miles Morales PS5. So we're getting there. Let's see. Can I pause really quick? There we go. All right, settings. So let me lower the audio. Yeah, of course it's at all 10. So I'll do 5. So that way you can hear me better. Sound effects, also 5. And I can improve it later on. Audio's fine. Camera's fine. I'll put on the photo mode shortcut. And yes, I'm starting at full-on new game. So not New Game Plus, just a new game on Ultimate. We'll be here for a couple hours. I would assume so. I don't know how long I have planned to do this, but I will try and be here as much as possible for you guys to keep you entertained and hyped while we're waiting for Miles. Okay, everything's great. And of course, we can see our boy one last time, which, yes, I'm still salty about it. You will never not hear that from me. Right there, my man John Bubniak looking like a beast. Ripped to the man. Look at how perfect he looks. I'm sorry. Now, I will say that the Ben Jordan in the new footage that they showed of the remaster does look graphically better than John. I will say that from a visual perspective, and I've said this on Twitter too, the hair is more layered. He's, what they're saying, like the spline tracing and the teeth improvement and all that, some of the scenes do look more tailored to Yuri's performance as the model that Ben has built. But again, since we've all played this game first, and we are all connected to John's version, it's going to be very jarring to see completely different face on this version of Peter Parker, and I still think that it's a complete downgrade in comparison to what John brought to the table. Look at our boy. Oh, it's going to be super weird. Now, again, the textures of the room and the remaster, this scene here, seeing Ben in this shot, his expression is more, I would say, contextualized to fit the face capture of Yuri. I get that, but then here, it fits more with this more mature tone and older vibe for Peter, and of course the remaster has the better textures on all these, appliances in Peter's apartment, and the lighting is much different as well to make it more like cinematic. So I've seen the remaster footage, looks great for everything, of course, except for the face model. I still will not get over that. I'm sorry. Willing to give it a chance, but I'm still gonna be very disjointed from that new Peter versus this Peter that we all know and love. And again, Yuri is the one who gave the performance of Peter and brought it to life, and it's just being applied to the character model. But again, John also did some acting as well for all that, but that's a whole nother thing. Regardless, game's great for the remaster. Visually and graphically, and also the enhancements with the suits, of course, the amazing suit looking phenomenal, which we have seen footage of briefly in like someone's live stream that they did, as well as the Arachnid Rider and Armored Advanced suit. Looks very, very stylish. But the PS4 version just will always have a special place in my heart, and I'm still excited though to replay it all over again with the remaster. Well, whether or not I will like it as much as this game mainly depends on how the acting is portrayed with the new Peter Parker face model, because we know the gameplay is going to be the same, the story is going to be the same, all the DLCs there, all the suits are there, all the upgrades and stuff is there front and center, but it is going to be very different with the story in terms of the performance we're seeing from Peter, especially when it looks weird since everyone else looks the same but better. Like Aunt May looks the same, she looks perfect now in the remaster. MJ looks a bit more, I guess, beautified. Like it looks like she has like more makeup on or something. And then Martin Lee also has some more texture in his face. But Peter, again, some scenes he looks good, others not so much. But I still prefer John any day of the week over Ben. But that's no disrespect to Ben. That's just the preference that I have for the model. But I keep going back and forth. So what I was trying to say beforehand is that I have a copy pre-ordered for Miles Morales on both PS4 and PS5 for the Ultimate Edition with the remaster, of course, and the PS4 version, which I'm playing first for myself. And also, no, in case any of you are wondering, and I know this might be a disappointment for some of you, I will not, repeat, I will not be doing a playthrough, a live initial playthrough for Miles Morales, because I love this character so much to death, the character of Spider-Man as a whole. Same thing with the first game. I never did a playthrough, my first initial playthrough, I should say, for Spider-Man PS4. I did do live streams replaying through the game from beginning to end, but never firstly reacting to everything right off the bat, because I feel like if I were to do a playthrough, I would be doing a disservice to you guys in my full review of the game, as well as myself as a fan wanting to be fully immersed within the world that Insomniac has crafted. Because again, if you don't know, this is my favorite version of Spider-Man, any form of media, outside the comics, outside of the movies, outside of the cartoons. Even though I love me some new animated series action with Neil Patrick Harris, I still massively prefer the more mature and grounded aesthetic that Insomniac have set up for Peter in this game, and I love it to death. I heavily relate to this version of the character, and it meant the world to me being able to play the game for the very first time without needing to be distracted by a playthrough or, a live stream with comments or anything like that. Even though I love you guys, I still, me as a fan myself, want to experience the game the way I would want to experience it. And for me, that would be no distractions, complete immersion, and just see the full story for what it is without needing to, make a video. Because I don't care about the views or the content, I just care about the character and the game itself. So I feel like with that, I would be able to do a main review properly without the, inclusion of a playthrough, and just do it on my own free time. And then once I finish playing Miles whenever, whether that be like the day after it comes out on the 12th, I beat Spider-Man PS4 in 3 days when it came out, when I was sent the early version of the game, and I died. I'm distracted as well by the chat and the game, and I've been playing a lot of Persona 5 Royal recently, so I'm kind of switching back gears into Spider-Man. You can roast me, you can say L, that's not the right one, L in the chat for me. I deserve it, I understand. But, I think you guys understand what I'm saying, right? Like, I think it would be a bit of a disservice for me as a fan, and also just as someone who truly wants to obtain the best possible immersion experience possible when playing the game, and I don't want to have to think about recording a video and the commentary with that for the, you know, the dialogue and all that for a playthrough. Just sit back, immerse myself in this story, enjoy the game, and be like that. Where the difference was for Avengers was that they sent me a, you know, early review copy for Avengers to live stream it for you guys to share the game's intro and all that to help, you know, promote it more, since that game is in a very bad state right now, as you've probably seen with the loss of Square Enix has lost, I believe it's $63 million in revenue because of the, you know, the status of Avengers. So they need a lot of people to try and help promote their game back in September when that was coming out. Miles is doing fine on its own, you know, it doesn't need me to help promote it, so that's, and I'm also very against the change of Peter's face, so that's probably why I wasn't sent one, but respect their decision. I'm still very excited for the game, and I can't wait to play it for myself. Now, sadly, I was a bit spoiled. I won't say what the spoiler is, but just in relation to what it was towards the character of Haley Cooper, who we, you know, have seen in the trailers and know from the Daily Bugle articles. And, you know, what we've seen in the, I guess as an example, the Spider-Cat gameplay clip from Game Informer, where we see Miles enter the bodega, and we see Haley come out of the bodega. I was spoiled for a little aspect of her character in the game. I won't say what, but it is, you know, one of those things where I want to go off the grid. I don't want to be spoiled by anything and see what's what. You know, I just want to experience it properly, initially, by myself. No need for YouTube. Now, with that all said, because I keep jumping back and forth between topics, and I'm sorry that I keep missing the chat. What's up, Kurt, Gil, the Ultimate Scarlet, Spidey, all you guys, I apologize in advance. Franco Greco from the Spidey Squad should be here. He'll back me up, I promise. Apologies in advance. But what I'm trying to get at is, and of course the phone rings. You see, guys, this is another reason why. Streaming for me and live playthroughs and all that does not work for me at all. So if you hear the phone ringing in the background, that's apologies on my part. My setup is not accustomed for a live streaming space. What I'm trying to say while the phone keeps ringing is that, again, if you're just joining, welcome. Hopefully you're doing okay. Miles Morales is one day away, guys. We're almost there. And I got my pre-order set for the PS4 version, which is the main version. I'm going to be playing a Miles on day one. I also have my Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales on PS5 pre-order. Whenever I get a PS5, I will be able to play Miles on there, and the remaster for Spider-Man PS4, Marvel's Spider-Man, on the next-gen console as well. But alongside of that, what I'm trying to say, there's all these distractions, is that I did a poll on Twitter, which again, follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, asking you guys, what are you planning to play Miles Morales on its day one release? We have the PS4 version, the standard PS5 version, and then of course the Ultimate PS5 version, which comes with the remaster of this game. And some of you, like me, may not be able to get the PS5 on day one release, or haven't secured a pre-order yet, but also may not be financially able to acquire a PS5 or the game itself. You know, there's all these, of course, with the situation we are in around the world. It's very it's a struggle right now for a lot of people. I know a lot of you guys are trying to secure pre-orders for the PlayStation 5, or even Miles Morales as well. I've seen some people say that the PS5 pre-orders are open, but for some reason the Miles pre-orders have gone out, which is a weird, you know, back and forth. So, what I've done is that I went to my GameStop last night, the poll ended, I saw the results, the PS5 option won. So I asked, which console are you guys planning to play Miles on first, and the PS5 version won, shockingly enough. So the majority of people, from what I've seen, even though it was like 49.8% versus 50.2%, so really, really close, like almost 50-50, the majority of people are going to be playing Miles first on PS5 on its day one release. So what I have done is I've pre-ordered a second copy of Miles Morales Ultimate Edition on PS5 to do a giveaway for. So I'm going to do a giveaway online for the Ultimate PS5 version of Miles Morales. So if you guys want to enter, and I will, you know, post it on the 12th tomorrow, so you guys don't have to worry ahead of time. I will let you all know in advance who gets it and when I will post it. is that I will be doing a giveaway for the Ultimate PS5 version of Miles Morales. It's coming out of my own pocket. You know, I love you guys. Your support means the world to me, and as a way to give back and say thanks, I want you guys to have a chance to get both Miles Morales on PS5 and the remaster for Marvel's Spider-Man on PS5 as well. So follow me on Twitter, @ me if you're interested, DM me, you know, send me messages, let me know if you are interested in receiving a copy of the game in case you haven't got one or you just want one for free. You know, I will give away one. Obviously, I'm not made of money, so I can't do, you know, how many copies I would want to, even though I desperately would. I'll just be doing it in the sense of, let me know if you're interested, but I will also ask you questions, and depending on who has the best answer to, you'll get the review copy. So I will ask, like, what does Miles Morales mean to you? Why are you excited for the PlayStation 5? And in general, how has this game influenced your interest in the character of Spider-Man as a whole compared to the first game? You know, because we all connected initially because of our love and care for Spider-Man PS4. Of course, the comics and movies and other games help as well, but of course the Spidey Squad was started because of our hype for this game, Spider-Man PS4. So once we get down to, you know, closer to the date for Miles, I'll also probably give you guys like a few days to send in your responses to my questions, and of course messaging me if you're interested at all. But I will only do this through Twitter. I will not be doing it on YouTube because Twitter is much more easy for me to communicate with you guys more, since I can follow you guys. I don't have to look at the YouTube comments. I can just see what your messages and DMs are to me directly. And that way it helps me out to directly see your messages in an instant, because I'll be going back and forth between a lot of people's responses to see how you guys feel about the giveaway and how your responses differ from someone else's. So thank you all in advance. You know, as many copies as I would love to. I wish I could, but again, I am trying to pay for my own PS5 as well and save money on my own terms. So just because I love you guys, I wanted to just do one giveaway as a way to say thank you, and definitely stay tuned for the giveaway on Twitter, @ Evan Filarca on Twitter. I don't have it linked in the description, but it will be after the stream is, you know, finished. And you guys definitely deserve all the support in the world. Now, for this, what I was also trying to say is that in advance you might be asking yourself, if you also follow me on Twitter, Evan, you said you were going to have a special guest here on the stream. Where is he? So, sadly, of course, in classic 2020 fashion, things didn't work out the way that we planned. The guest was supposed to be Joseph Whitty, who you know from Whitty Fam, Whitty Gang, of course, the main man himself. He's awesome. Definitely go subscribe to him if you haven't already. He is fantastic. His reactions are priceless. We were planning to do a live stream with this together, discussing Miles and our hype for the game, and you know, the build up to launch and what Miles means to us and all that today. But Joseph sadly has work right now, so he couldn't make the stream, even though he really wanted to. So again, shout out to Joseph for being a real one. He definitely deserves all the support in the world. Sadly, he just couldn't make the stream, even though we really want him to be here. And alongside of that, which some of you might have guessed it, I tell like one person specifically on Twitter theorized if that was going to be the guest is Joseph Whitty, which is correct. But there was someone else asking if John Bubniak himself was going to be the guest. And funny enough, I messaged him through DMs. And, you know, we've tried to work some things out. Not with, you know, because if you guys are unaware, I interviewed John at E3 2018 about Spider-Man PS4 and his involvement as the character model for Peter. And he's amazing, and we follow each other on Twitter. And I tried to see if I could interview him again about this situation with him being recasted with Ben Jordan in the remaster, and seeing if I could get his insight on the entire situation from his perspective. And if he wanted to join the stream as well. So we're trying to work some things out. It couldn't happen today, of course, you know, scheduling and all that, but maybe down the line you might see some other interview or something with John coming back, the main man, because he definitely deserves it. And he is literally my go-to Peter Parker, which, by the way, I checked, he's a year older than me. I'm 22 years old, Peter Parker in the game is 23 years old, and John Bubniak himself is 23 years old. So whenever I see someone say Peter Parker doesn't look like a 23-year-old, John is literally 23 years old. So I don't really understand that logic or argument that some people are trying to dispute between Ben and John. Again, no harm towards Ben or even John. It's just that I massively prefer the more mature visual aesthetic that John brings off for this version of Peter compared to Ben Jordan. And I think that's an issue with how they translated the design of Ben Jordan from real life into the game, because in real life, Ben Jordan does look like a younger Yuri. Is what they're trying to go for, is to grab a character model who fits more of the facial performance and visual capture that Yuri Lowenthal provided as Peter Parker. Because as we see him act out those emotional scenes in the game, it is John's face, but the acting itself is coming from Yuri Lowenthal. So he's there in all the scenes in the game where he's crying on Aunt May's deathbed, and Otto Octavius, like you knew, and you're everything I want to be. That's all Yuri. And rightfully so, because he captured that on stage with the other characters in the game, the actors who portrayed them, with William Sawyers as Otto Octavius, Martin Lee as, Mr. Negative and all that. So I get it, I understand. I just think, again, John's capture is so unique and different from any other Peter we've ever seen before. And sad to say, the Ben Jordan character model, while he could look like a certain 23-year-old, he gives off much more like, I would have believed it if that was a Peter in this universe in high school. Just still in his junior or even senior year, not a graduate, or maybe even a college freshman, I would go so far as to say. But the fact that they're trying to say as he's a recent graduate from college, with that more youthful aesthetic, and he just so happens to look like Tom Holland, is very, jarring, again, to say the least. And I would still be mad if the same situation applied, if it looked like Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield, or even, Nicholas Hammond from the old school Spider-Man show, or Neil Patrick Harris, who voiced Spider-Man in the new animated series. Like, I don't want him to look like anyone I've seen before. And that's where the people are doing that kind of argument. Like, he looks like a discount Andrew Garfield, John Bubniak. I don't agree with that at all. I think John looks completely unique to this universe's version of Peter Parker, just as all the other character models do. And I'm going to have to get used to it. I haven't played the remaster for myself, so I can't say one thing or the other about Ben Jordan's performance yet. I've just seen the opening scene, in the apartment, and then also the conversation between Peter and Otto in the laboratory, of course, that we've seen from the reveal. But the full, the emotional moments in the game where he's crying with Aunt May, let me see my nephew, unmasks himself. Who the hell are you? Like that meme that's going around. Haven't seen that scene, or the ending with Otto Octavius in the anti-Ock suit. Haven't seen that either. So I'm just going to have to play it for myself to make a final decision. However, I think it's safe to say in advance, I'm personally just not going to be as invested in this newer version of Peter compared to who we played as in the first game with John. So, it's kind of crazy. And as a reference again, 2018 was 2 years ago. I was 20 then. So John was 21, since he's a year older than me, in 2018 when I interviewed him for the first time. So he already looked amazing. So Peter in the game was 23. At that point, John was 21. Probably when they captured him, for the mocap, he was 20. So they aged him up a little bit more in the game compared to how John looks now, or looked back then in the year, you know what I mean? Weird timeline stuff. It's like The Flash, like what timeline are we in, Barry? It's crazy. So, I just think that the reasoning behind it is a bit strange, but I'll just have to get used to it. Lift pipe very fast. You talk too much. I know, dude. You understand. These streams get pretty hectic. Rick Grimes, the new face is fine. Move on. It's done. What we've got. Again, that's your prerogative. That's, again, if you love the face, I thought I'd made this clear 1,000 times, but if you love the new choice with Ben Jordan, I'm super happy for you. I'm glad. I myself am curious to see how his performance will differ from John. Me personally, after, especially meeting him in person, it's going to be a bit different for me. So I respect your opinion that you love the new face. Just understand my viewpoint on the matter, that I will need to be convinced a bit more with this change. And I'm personally not a fan of the choice. I would have much preferred if they just enhanced John visually instead of getting a completely new person. But, we will see. We will see. But yes, other than that, hype is real. I'm pumped, you guys. Miles Morales is looking amazing. I, got slightly spoiled with that scene with the one of the side characters, but still, the majority of the game I still have not seen yet, so I'm very curious to play for myself. And rest assured, if any of you guys spoil it for me, I will block you in a second, or, you know, remove you from the channel. I'm just saying, I've already had a couple people try and send me stuff, so just warning you ahead of time, not cool to do that at all. You know, respect other people's decisions to not want to see spoilers ahead of time, especially after having waiting for so long for it. So, you know, be kind and courteous to your fellow Spidey fans. That's all I ask. But yes. Other than that, Miles is looking fantastic. Prowler is looking crazy, what we saw in the launch trailer. I'm very curious to learn more about Aaron Davis's character. I don't know who voices him, although it was recently confirmed by, you know, one of the actors in the game from Insomniac as well, that Danica Hart, the purple-haired podcaster who we've seen so far in some articles, is voiced by Ashley Birch, who you may know as Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, and Chloe Price from Life is Strange, and even Kate Bishop, who she's going to be in the Avengers game, so that's pretty cool. But I'm curious to learn more about her role as well, and see how it differs between, you know, her as like a side character in Avengers versus, like, you know, a nice enthusiastic podcaster in Spider-Man, and see how that differs, of course, from J. Jonah Jameson and his involvement as well. But other than that, you know, I think the remaster as well is going to be crazy with the DualSense is the thing that I'm most excited about. Like, graphics are fine. Of course, in terms of any game, like, graphics are never, like, the make or break factor. Like, oh, the game looks terrible, therefore I won't play it. Like, no, some of the worst looking games play the best. So graphics aren't really that big of a deal for me. What I hear everyone keep raving on about for the PS5 in general, but also for Miles Morales and the remaster for Marvel's Spider-Man, is the addition of the DualSense controller with the vibration and the haptic feedback and all the added features that weren't in the first game in terms of controllability and all that. So I definitely think that they have something special going on with how the controller is going to be a huge step up from the first game in terms of immersion and overall feel to the character of Spider-Man when swinging, when fighting. The gadgets, of course, they made sure, like the gadgets, you'll feel more impact with the webbing and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see more about that. And just how he'll swing in comparison to the feeling of the dive bomb and the rumble of the controller, and how the 3D audio as well, so you'll feel more connected to the city as a whole. I'm pumped, you know, for that. I think that's going to be crazy, and I can't wait. Evan, Warrior Born, have you read the JM or Tom DeFalco's run for Spider-Man? JM DeMatteo, I think you said. Yeah, no, sadly not. I've been super swamped with all the news recently for Miles and trying to get a PS5, so I've not caught up on the comics. And I'm also trying to secure, you know, the latest release of the prequel novel for Miles Morales of Wings of Fury, which came out yesterday, but I haven't received it yet, so I've been also trying to focus on that too. But, yeah, we will see. Sorry, Dylan, I have not seen the comments in the chat. Again, I think Franco Greco should be here, hopefully kind of ousting some people if they're causing trouble. I apologize in advance if you guys are dealing with anything off that end. I'm super sorry. But, yeah, guys, again, if you're being jerks or spoiling stuff, please don't do it, or else, you know, one of the mods in the chat will definitely ban you from the channel. Yeah, but, again, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, Remaster's looking great, Miles is looking great. The story will be the make or break factor for me personally, whether or not I will give Miles Morales a 10 or a 9. I'm assuming that's going to be my score, because, again, everything I've seen so far is already saying it's like more of the same with Spider-Man PS4, but also innovating in a lot of areas that weren't there before. And I think that's going to be a huge step up in comparison from the gameplay and the swinging, of course, from Spider-Man PS4 onto Miles' game, because this was their first step into Spider-Man territory for Spider-Man PS4 with Insomniac in 2018. Now they're owned by Sony, they have more resources at their disposal, and they have, you know, kind of mastered the momentum and the overall gravitas of the swinging that is incorporated into Miles' character that makes him different from Peter. So I think that's going to be the huge, you know, decision factor for people. Like, will the game be better than Spider-Man PS4? Most likely. In terms of gameplay, sure, and obviously graphics with the PS5 enhancement. But the story. It all depends on the character of Miles Morales and how he's portrayed. I really liked him portrayed in this game. I know a lot of people prefer the Spider-Verse version compared to this game's version, but I think with the take that Insomniac is doing, making him more modern in terms of he's scientific, but also unique in that he's a music producer. You know, he's a beats maker, as what they've analyzed and unveiled. That's very unique. That's very, you know, current with Miles' aesthetic. And I'm sure it's going to be very intriguing to see that fully develop throughout the story and see him become his own, you know, hero in the sense of style and fluidity and just overall essence of Spider-Man. Like, again, anyone can wear the mask. You can wear the mask, whereas Peter teaches us that we can all be a hero in our own way, but that Spider-Man himself isn't just pertained to Peter Parker. It's also Miles, it's Miguel, it's, you know, even Mary Jane at some points. It's, you know, Miguel O'Hara I'm talking about, of course. It's, you know, Hobie Brown as Spider-Punk, you know, just as a, you know, reference to that version of the character. Anybody, literally anybody can be Spider-Man, and anyone can be a hero if they so desire. And that's what I love about Miles, that he's kind of like the first stepping point into that whole mindset. Like, that's what he kind of represents first and foremost. And seeing that, you know, on full display again is going to be a very meaningful portrayal for the character that most people probably have not experienced yet. In a massive medium such as this of the video game that people love so much. And again, him leading the launch into the PS5 is going to make it even better. I promise I will look at the chat once I'm done with this section. I'm sorry, I just haven't had the time to check it out again. Franco Greco, if you're here, my guy, please help me out with that. It would be much appreciated. Or any one of the other mods in the chat too. Thank you in advance. Hopefully it should be, you know, not dealt with if someone's sending purple comments or anything like that. I apologize again. That's not the type of attitude we like to see here on this channel. And come on, guys, just be civil about things if you guys are, you know, doing things or spoiling things. Again, just avoid the chat if possible. That'd be a good tip as well. Just kind of block out the chat. Don't look at it if you can. But yeah, just again, please be kind to everybody, and that would be very nice for me as well to see that amongst the community. Man, alright, let's see. But yeah, I think the one factor that I'm worried about, I would say, for Miles Morales, not the remaster per se, since it's literally the same exact game, just with a different face for Peter Parker, and that's the main decision that I'm not a fan of at all. But for Miles is the length. You know, people have either praised it or have been kind of against the length because it's shorter, but in that sense, it could be short and sweet for the length of Miles Morales in comparison to Spider-Man PS4, because some people thought that Spider-Man PS4 had some filler missions with Mary Jane and Miles Morales. I think that adds a bit more context to the overall world that Insomniac is building and the characters that they're crafting. So, in that sense, and I also love Persona 5, which is my current game of the year, which is like one of the longest games of 2020 with like 100+ hours worth of content. Probably more, 120+ hours, I think, for Royal compared to the base game. But this length for Spider-Man PS4, as well as the DLC, adds up to about over 30 hours of playtime for the story and the side content, and it makes it so much more layered and well-rounded and just immersive in the world and the characters you're growing attached to even further. So for Miles, again, we knew ahead of time it was a standalone game. It was a spin-off with Miles, so it's shorter, it's smaller in scope, so it's not going to be as massive as Spider-Man PS4, and the price is shorter too. So because of that, it's completely acceptable in terms of length. But I hope that it can tell an effective story with the length that it has on alongside of the characters they're having in the narrative as well, with a newcomer like Simon Krieger, as well as Aaron Davis and whoever the Tinkerer is, with other returning characters like Peter and Rhino and Rio Morales, and as Genki as well, who we did see in this game, but who's getting like a full role in this. So, let's see. Oh, so I'm checking the chat now. So it turns out my buddy Franco Greco is not here in the moderator because he has work. So sorry you guys are experiencing stuff like that. I apologize again if you're dealing with any terrible comments. I sadly, again, can't really control that right now while I'm streaming. Apologies in advance. That's not the type of conduct I like to see on the channel or in general within any community. So hopefully you're not having to deal with someone who's causing hate or spoiling the game for you or whatever it may be. I apologize in advance. And I take full responsibility for that as well. So Again, forgive me. But as a bright side, I'm just happy we're able to experience this game as a group, as a unit together, as fans, and mainly what I see the Spidey Squad as a family, because without you guys, I would not be here, as well as the entirety of, you know, the Spidey Squad group as a whole wouldn't exist without your support, so I can't thank you enough again. I would show the logo, but of course, since we're playing a new game from scratch, I can't. Although it definitely means the world to me that, you know, they care about the fans that much. In Insomniac, we trust. And I can't wait to see it again, the remaster. It's going to be amazing. That is, if it's there, I'm sure, you know, will be. Of course, people are like, what if they took it out? Like, I don't think so. But again, if they did, that's their choice. I respect them no matter what, because of all the support they've given to me and the other fans out there throughout the past 2 years. But we shall see. But again, reacting to the Easter egg was like one of the most special moments probably in my entire life. And I'm glad I was able to share that moment with you. Like, that was fine. Like, because Brian Intihar kind of teased in advance, like, we might have put something in the game for you guys. So that's why I had a camera set up beforehand just to on record while I was swinging through the city to see if I could find the backpack with the logo. And I found it, and that's on the channel if you guys want to check that out. My first reaction to discovering the logo and hearing Yuri Lowenthal talk about the group as a whole, which is incredible. So that's phenomenal. And it made it all the more special being able to meet, of course, the majority of Insomniac games in person, as well as Yuri Lowenthal, John Bubniak, and Brian Intihar on the team. And now that Brian Horton is working on Miles, who I've been able to, you know, connect with as well, is incredible. And, you know, I wish him the best because this game is going to be fantastic. While Brian Intihar, our main man, Fragile Eagle, is mainly focusing on the next step with the sequel. Because Miles is, of course, like the future of the franchise with the story. Our main boy, look at him. Gorgeous. But of course, Miles is progressing the story a year further with Miles' narrative, kind of, you know, fleshing him out further as his own Spider-Man. But with Peter's story, that's where Brian Intihar is leading the front for that in the future, as well as Bill Roseman and Eric Monticelli and, you know, Becca McIntosh, all the main people at Marvel focusing on that side of the scope for the sequel with Peter's narrative, while Brian Horton and the rest of Insomniac and other writers, you know, Mary, Kenny, Evan Narcisse, Ben Arfman, they're the core writers for Miles Morales, whereas John Paquette and Christos Gage and also Ben Arfman were the main writers for Spider-Man PS4. With, of course, some slight contributions, you guys may know, with Dan Slott, who helped kind of flesh further out the Mr. Negative aspect of the game for his character in the Inner Demons. But yeah, seeing the comparison between the two stories will make or break whether or not I give, like, this Miles' story was so incredible or it was a little bit less than desirable. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's going to be fantastic. Whether or not it will beat what I believe the narrative for Spider-Man PS4 had is up for debate. We will wait and see. But yes. Again, sorry. Again, you can mute me if you want, but the critique that I mainly have of the new model is that his head is too small. I'm also a little bit biased since I literally have the same hair as Peter right here, like 1-to-1. But Ben Jordan's face is expressing a lot of emotion in certain scenes that I do understand connects to Yuri's performance a lot better. But the body build is tailored to John. If you also look at the concept art for Peter Parker and Spider-Man PS4, they clearly showed like an older looking Peter Parker. Even older, he had like a little stubble on his, like a beard almost. Little, like, you know, 5 o'clock shadowish. And the head shape is a bit too small for Ben Jordan's face onto John Bubniak's body. Because, for example, the undie suit is still going to be in the game. You know, like the underwear, only undies and mask suit is going to be in the remaster for Spider-Man PS4. So that body build is the exact same. It's just that it has a different head on the top. And the head itself looks too small. The hair as well, they kind of touched upon that a little bit more in the newer footage I've seen, which is good. Also matured him a little bit, which I do appreciate, because they said they're not going back to John. They're keeping Ben. But if you are keeping Ben, I would prefer it if they added some, you know, age to fit the model from real life into the Peter model in the game. And And I just don't think that the aesthetic that they went with in the first reveal, at least, fit how I imagine a 23-year-old Peter Parker who's been Spider-Man for 8 years, who is very experienced in the way he's doing things, and has been through a lot with his villains. Again, one of the things we hear in this game is that, oh my god, you know, Mary Jane had to be like a nurse for Peter Parker during all the times that he came back cut up, and the time where Kingpin sliced up Peter Parker like a pork sausage with the samurai sword because he got gutted pretty much by, you know, Kingpin. So it's like, yeah, like you would be exhausted from doing all that. You would have some more maturity added to you. I'm 22 and I you know, I assume I look the age, but some people say otherwise. So again, there's different, you know, people may look 16 and they're, you know, 30 years old. So who knows? It's different for different people. I just think that the version that this character has, narratively, in the, you know, the experience of Spider-Man for 8 years doing these types of things, makes a lot more sense for the model that fit with John compared to Ben. However, again, I'm still curious to see how his full performance will differ from John visually, but we will just have to wait and see. Let's see. I'm trying to do all this so I can look back at the chat. But yeah, Elijah Rice, I actually objectively prefer Ben over John. I missed your comment, but I'm sorry. And that's fine. I'm assuming you said because it fits the character more for the face expressions. Again, like I've said, I think that graphically, Ben looks phenomenal. I think that the hair is much more improved. It has a lot more texture, a lot more life into the aesthetic of that Peter. But again, it doesn't, if you told me this was a Peter in middle school, in high school, I would believe you. Or maybe just starting college, I would even believe you. But for a college graduate in his prime, 8 years of Spider-Man, I think that John made a way better choice. And again, no one would complain either if we just got John, but enhanced. You know, if they up-res John's character model instead of getting someone completely different, no one would be complaining in the slightest. But I'm happy if you like the character model. Again, that's completely fine. I can't wait for you guys to play the remaster as well with the giveaway. Again, make sure you enter if you are interested on Twitter. Message me and at me to let me know your region of location as well. That also helps a lot. And just to, you know, prepare you guys in advance, no need to worry. I provide all the shipping. It comes all out of my pocket. It's not provided by Sony or Marvel or whatever. This is all me giving back to you guys. So I will handle the shipping. I will handle the addressing. I will handle the packaging. And I will send it to you guys internationally or domestically. So even if you're in Germany or whatever, just make sure you leave me your full address, city, state, zip code, all that good stuff, all the info. Write it down properly, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And, you know, I'll give you all a good time period overlaps to make sure that you guys leave responses that show your interest and stuff. So I will be definitely there. My man Andrew, Spidey Outcast, what's good, brother? Be careful of spoilers since they started popping up. Made a video about it. Yes, he did. Go check out Spidey Outcast video, guys, on his channel, Spidey Outcast. He's great. He does great videos as a whole, and I think you'll love his content about it. Look at that! My boy! Right out of college, too! What were we just talking about? So they're going to redo, again, which we've already seen in the remaster, they're going to redo all these photos and stuff with Ben and his face model instead of John. However, I will laugh my ass off if it turns out one of these photos still has John's face over Ben's. I think that would be like, oh, they forgot one, because I feel like it was a forced decision. That's just me. That's kind of getting into, you know, conspiracy tinfoil hat theory, so I won't dive in too much, but I've done a whole video about that on my channel, which you can look out. But, yeah. Otto looking clean, which he looks phenomenal in the remaster, by the way, which I've said earlier. Same thing with Aunt May and Mr. Negative, you know, Martin Lee. Mary Jane, I'm a little bit torn on. She looks okay. I just think that, again, they kind of beautified her a little bit. They gave her, like, a makeup overhaul, which I thought she looked fine in here without that much makeup, but maybe they want to give her a bit more of a pristine aesthetic to match the face of Ben. I don't know. But again, I think it looks like she's going out with her brother, to be honest. It looks like Ben Jordan could pass off as the brother of Mary Jane instead of, oh, that's Peter Parker. To be honest, and in the one shot in the beginning where they're showing Mary Jane, Harry, and Peter in high school, which was where they're together, the three of them are in that photo, that's of them when they just graduated high school. That was their graduation picture that they had. And in that shot, it looks like there's two Harry Osborns. One with glasses, one without glasses, to be completely honest. So, I find it strange, but whatever. Again, guys, I'm sorry. If there's any one of my mods in the chat, I would really appreciate your help trying to get rid of some guy causing a disturbance. Mr. Aziz style, there's always a disturbance, and that's definitely the case when it comes to, it seems to be, my takes and streams. But again, it's launch day, or close to launch, the day before launch day, so I would appreciate if all the hype could just embody in the chat instead of just hate or whatever's going on. I'm not sure what the argument is, but just be kind and courteous and don't try to offend anybody. It's not that hard, you guys. Please. But, yeah. What I was trying to say before is that I'm very excited to see what Miles will do with his game for his character compared to Spider-Verse. Because that was the thing, is that people didn't like Miles initially from the comics since they thought he was just a copy and paste of Peter Parker. And that was true for a time, to be honest. But then they kind of did some new stuff in the cartoons a little bit to give him some individuality and stuff. But the main thing is when Spider-Verse came out, of course. Then they completely overhauled Miles, made him completely different from Peter in so many unique ways. And they're doing the same thing here with his game versus his first appearance in Spider-Man PS4. So he's a music producer. He has a fade. Of course, he looks stylish as all hell. He doesn't have an afro anymore. He has a clean fade. And he is becoming his own without needing to be guided by Peter. Unlike, Spider-Verse is different since he was Spider-Man for 2 days in that movie. Like he says at the end of the movie, I've been Spider-Man for 2 days, and I'm the one and only Spider-Man. Or like, I'm Spider-Man, I'm not the only one. Not by a long shot. Like that end whole monologue in the movie when he's talking to you, the viewer. He was only Spider-Man for 2 days, so of course he was being trained a lot by Peter, and throughout the movie we see him becoming his own, but still kind of being aided by Peter. Whereas this, the smart move they've done here for Miles is that it's been a year since Peter has taught Miles. He's been teaching him, he's been training him as the days have gone by, and he's learned from him enough to swing, to fight, to act as a hero properly, but he's still his own Spider-Man. And I love that about Miles and what they're doing with this character in the games world, as well as just his own story, which is why most people may like it, because it's different from Peter's and it's more unique and stylized, I would say, compared to the more generic Peter Parker stuff we've seen in the past. But I think, this version of Peter is so unique and different that I've never seen in any other version of media before, with the, college graduate, in his prime, 23 years old, working as a scientist, the main thing I love, because that's his passion. He's not at the Daily Bugle anymore. So, I hope by Miles' story, where we hear Peter, I'm going to be a photographer for Mary Jane and Symbiote, that doesn't carry over into the sequel, where he's going to be, I'm assuming, looking for work again as a sicentist in the field of research that helped craft prosthetics or the devil's breath or whatever to kind of help people more instead of causing harm or hurt towards others. But use science for the greater good, because that's what Peter loves the most, is his nerdness, his nerdiness for science, because he made his own web shooters, he made his own gadgets, he made his own suits. So of course, why not apply that scientific mind to the work that he can do as Peter Parker? Whereas if he just goes back to the Daily Bugle, same thing with J. Jonah Jameson, what we heard in the Daily Bugle articles for Miles Morales, there's like talks of him possibly not doing his Just the Facts podcast anymore, but instead doing some stuff back at the Daily Bugle. And I hope they don't backtrack, because that's kind of like the more stuff they're doing in the comics, where they're trying to keep Peter young. And that's one of the, again, conspiracy tinfoil hat theories I brought up in one of my previous videos. But Marvel loves to keep Peter young. If you notice, like, he is an adult in the comics, but he always seems to act like he's still a teenager. He never seems to act mature enough for the age that he's embodying. So it's just very strange to me, and I feel like one of the reasonings is because, again, Sony now owns Insomniac, and Far From Home made $1 billion, so it's, of course, it's the highest grossing Spider-Man film of all time. And who else is the current Spider-Man than that of Tom Holland? So I feel like they're trying to synchronize the two with both forms of media in the games and the movies. And I'm not even crazy about this, because I literally asked, when my GameStop the other day, when I went to pre-order the second copy of Miles Morales' Ultimate Edition to do the giveaway for, I asked, like, the guys who were at the clerk, you know, the register, asking, oh, did you guys pre-order Miles? Are you excited for it? Like, yeah, I pre-ordered the Miles Morales base game for the PS5, not the Ultimate Edition, because I don't like how Peter Parker is now Tom Holland. I'm like, thank you. Like, I literally hugged the guy, because I'm like, you know, social distancing, but like metaphorically, like, I'm like, thank you for telling me exactly what I've been thinking this whole time. Because it's like, you can't deny it. He could look better than John if you think that. That's fine. But if you say Ben Jordan looks nothing like Tom Holland, then you're lying to yourself. That's just how it is. I'm sorry. If you think they look nothing alike, you are blind. I have to be honest. But, yeah. Whether or not it'll be a good choice for his performance in the remaster and the sequel and even, you know, the brief cutscene we got of him and Miles Morales, we'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see big time, but I think that, of course, the phrase, in Insomniac we trust, still stands. The game's visual aesthetic, regardless of the face, with the graphics, look phenomenal. Gameplay's still the same. Swinging is amazing. Easily the best Spider-Man game we've ever received, in my opinion, is this game. I'm hoping Miles will be on par with that, if not possibly beat that. But as for whether or not I will, you know, prefer Ben over John is something that I don't think will happen anytime soon. Yes. But enough at the face. Other stuff, because you've heard me ramble about enough already. I mentioned the giveaway. Again, follow me on Twitter if you're just joining. Welcome to the stream. We're just starting a brand new game again. Not a new game plus, but just from scratch. New game with the Spider-Man PS4 just to see the game all over again before Miles Morales launches. Ahead of time, I will not be doing a playthrough for Miles Morales live on the channel, like a Let's Play. I will do a live stream after I beat the game, like a live initial Let's Play, like, oh, what happens at the story? I'll play to find out. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to play the game on my own free time, experience it myself, and just enjoy the ride, but, you know, as a solo player, without needing to worry about a stream or a live commentary playthrough. But I'm very excited to dive into it myself, and I think it's going to be incredible. On top of that, we talked about the gameplay, the remaster, the DualSense, the haptic feedback, the audio, Miles' story, his character portrayal. You know, the side characters seem very interesting to learn more about, and how Miles connects with them, with Genki, Haley Cooper, and Danica Hart. You know, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but I think those character moments are going to be very intriguing to learn more about once we play the game for ourselves, and how that could possibly lead into the main sequel with Spider-Man 2, whether or not that relates to both Peter and Miles, or just Peter. We don't know. But regardless, let me know your thoughts. Until then, I think I've answered everything I can talk about that I can think of right now. I mean, sadly, the special guest, Joseph Whitty, is not here. We might be able to do something on his channel later tonight, this evening, so stay tuned to Joseph Whitty's channel, maybe later, for something like that. Again, check out Spidey Outcast's video on the spoilers. Not spoiling the game, but just saying don't spoil the game. He's great. Let's see. And I think that's it. So let me know, you guys, if you have any questions or anything. I'd be more than happy to answer. And again, just be kind and courteous to your fellow Spidey fan. I'm seeing a lot of weird stuff in the comments, so please just behave, act normal. I know 2020 has been a crazy year, but you don't have to make it that much crazier, you know? So please just be civil, kind, and courteous, and that's all I ask for. That's all I can hope for, at least. And again, if any of my mods are in here, Franco's sadly not here, and I'm streaming, so I can't sadly manage the stream chat and my thing at once. So I would appreciate it if you guys could be civil about it. But yes, let's see. Yeah, but any questions you guys may have about the remaster, or any, like, what do you guys think? Do you guys think the remaster looks good? Do you think that Insomniac might have added the suits, you know, with the remaster suits on PS4, which, by the way, I didn't do a video about it because I put it in the community tab in case you guys missed it. Insomniac are putting out the 3 new suits that are coming to Spider-Man Remaster, which is the Amazing Spider-Man 1 movie suit, the Arachnid Rider, you know, Japanese-looking suit, and the Armored Advanced suit on PS4 as well, on Thanksgiving, which is November 26th. So that which is also coming in a free update, which is fantastic. Can't wait to try those suits on. I'll probably play it again first on PS4, then play it on PS5, because again, just imagining John Bubniak's face model under the TASM suit is like god tier status, to be honest. But, you know, that's just my preference. But yes, very exciting to see that. Oh yeah, the save data as well. Thank you for reminding me. I think that was Tyler. Yeah, the save data is also going to be transferable from PS4 onto PS5. So, if you beat the game here, which you saw in the beginning of the stream, I did, like, you know, tons of save files for the 100%ing. I haven't gotten, like, 5 complete save files because I've gone back and forth between playing so many times. But say you 100% the game on PS4, you get a PS5, you want to play Spider-Man Remastered on PS5, but you don't want to play through the whole story all over again. You don't have to now, since the data will be able to be transferred from the PS4 onto the PS5. So that's very cool. That's also coming in the update with the 3 new suits onto the PS4. And that should make a lot of people happy who are getting a PS5 to play the remaster for this game. So that's great. Yeah, Resident Evil player, when it comes to those 3 suits, I really want to use the TASM 1 suit. For sure, dude. Me too. Armored Advanced suit makes no sense to me, which is crazy because you guys know me. I love the Advanced suit with all my heart. It's literally my favorite Spider-Man costume of all time. But we already have an Armored Advanced suit in the game with the Anti-Ox suit, you know? So it's like, why do we need that again? When instead, they could have done another Insomniac original design. Instead, you know, just make something else. Or a comic suit, which a lot of people want, because then they could have kept the pattern with the pre-order suits, where we've gotten a comic suit, a movie suit, and an original suit. So for this game, it was the Spider-Punk suit, which is from the comics. Then it was the Avengers Infinity War suit, which was from the movie. And then it was the Velocity suit, which was an original design. So I thought, and the same thing was also, I think, for the Heist DLC. It wasn't a movie, but we also got the Raimi suit and the Far From Home suits. But for the Heist DLC, we got, I think, Spider UK, the Resilient suit, and one other costume I'm blanking on right now. But those are the costumes that were given for the Heist versus something else. Or versus, you know, original suits. So for this, I was assuming that we were going to get one movie suit, which was the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. I'm sorry, vice versa. People were assuming that they were going to get 3 movie suits with the Amazing Spider-Man film. So the Amazing Spider-Man Vigilante suit, where he has the beanie and the shades, and the brown jacket, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit, which we do have, and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit from that movie, even though that's pretty much the classic suit with a different eye shape and spider design and raised webbing. So I guess it's different, but it's just another classic suit, you know, whereas the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit is different enough from the Raimi suit and the classic suit and the other movie suits and stuff like that. So it's interesting to say the least. But what I was assuming, again, was that we were going to see the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit, as well as an original Insomniac suit and a comic suit. So I thought the Arachnid Rider was going to be the one original suit. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 movie suit was going to be the movie suit for that pack. And then the third suit, which a lot of people were hoping for, was, of course, the Ben Reilly Sensational Spider-Man suit. Or maybe something like the Alex Ross suit, Superior Spider-Man. I was hoping for bullet points as well. You guys may not know that one. That's where Bruce Banner is Spider-Man instead of Peter Parker. Cool comic. Check it out. But yeah. You guys are able to hear me, right? I think I'm not muted this whole time. I would be depressed if I was. I think you can. Just checking. And apologies if guys from the Spidey squad, if you guys can't hear my phone in the background's ringing. If you guys are calling me, my main boys, I know they probably want to talk to me. I'm sorry, I can't pick up the phone right now, but I have it on vibrate, but I know they're calling me. Great, you can hear me? Fantastic. Again, guys, that's why I'm not used to streaming. I'm not a big streamer. I just do videos, and that's it. Like, same thing, like if I were to watch a movie or a video live versus a video posted, I would just watch a video posted and just wait until then. But I know you guys do appreciate these streams from time to time, so thank you. Let's see. Great. Thumbs up, you can. Great. Thanks, guys. Guy's the best. But yeah, sorry, I keep going back and forth between different topics. You guys, I'm assuming, are excited for the remaster, or at least the suits. For the most part, I would think, you know, versus, you probably want like a different costume, maybe. I would understand that. But for the most part, I would assume the majority of us are excited to see what the costumes will look like in this game, as well as the remaster. Let's see. Great. Done and done. Fantastic. A-Right, you think we're going to have repeat suits in Spider-Man 2, since people are most likely going to want these movie suits again? That's a good question, you know, because we should assume by now that based on the post-credit scene from this game, you know, I don't know anything about Miles' ending or what happens. I'm just saying from what we know from Spider-Man PS4 is that with the post-credit scene with Norman Osborn and Harry Osborn, that's most likely teasing Venom as one of the main villains. And what else does that mean? Then Peter having the black suit. So because of that, I think we will most likely see some returns suits from this game on here, no doubt. Of course, probably the movie suits. But I hope also like the advanced suit in case they try and re-update it in the sequel, or the anti-Ox suit, or whatever it is. And the original Insomniac Games designs as well. I think they will return in the sequel too. But since I think they're going to focus more on the black suit than, of course, the red suit, I think we will get some black suit alternate costumes. Like, of course, you already know, the black Raimi suit from Spider-Man 3, or what I'm hoping for, which is my personal favorite, is the Ultimate Spider-Man purple black suit. You know, the main color palette suit that we've seen for the black suit within Ultimate Spider-Man, and even Spider-Man Web of Shadows, and even briefly in Shattered Dimensions, you know? So, and from the comics as well. That Ultimate suit with the big eyes, the big white eyes, the big white spider symbol on the front and the back, and no, you know, the white squares on the back of the palms, that's not on the Ultimate suit. So, that is my favorite black suit of all time. You guys already know the struggle of having to unlock that thing in Ultimate Spider-Man, the first game, where you had to get all the secret tokens, all the collectibles, and do all the races and combat tours and all of the side objectives in Ultimate Spider-Man. Completely 100% the game to get the black suit. And at that point, you couldn't even re-wear the suit in the cutscenes and stuff, or like a New Game Plus. It's just, you know, insane that took so long to get that suit. It took me literally like years to get it, because finding all the tokens in the city was a hassle beyond a hassle. So, insane, but, you know, I love that game to death. And I definitely think you should play it if you haven't already. I know a lot of people are saying, we want an Ultimate Spider-Man remaster. And I get that, but when you think about it, that's kind of what we're getting now with Miles Morales, with, of course, the Into the Spider-Verse suit. And there is also another animated-looking suit in the game. I don't really think that's a spoiler, just the fact that, and of course, there's already been videos out there from people showing the suits in advance, which, to be honest, I'm not really a fan of. Like, part of the game yourself playing it is to experience the secrets and surprises they put in the game. So, and like, you know, someone did the same thing where they revealed all the costumes for Spider-Man PS4 before the game came out. And one of the costumes was the anti-Ox suit. And that's a core story beat at the end of the game. It's very emotional building up to seeing Peter make that thing and seeing it damaged when he's crying to Otto Octavius, and it's broken, and it symbolizes the broken heart that Peter has when fighting Otto in the game at the very end. So when they spoil that suit, it's like, really? That, you know, that takes out a part of the experience for me personally. Luckily, I wasn't spoiled for that since I was able to play it ahead of time. But for Miles, I've seen some of the suits. I haven't seen all of them. I just know, like, there's the Spider-Cat suit, the suits we've already seen, you know, the track suit, the 2020 suit, the, what else am I thinking of? The, wow, I'm blanking. 2020 suit, Spider-Verse suit, track suit, hoodie, the beginner suit and the gift suit. I'm blanking on it. Yeah, the two opening suits that you have at the start of the game. I've seen those, but not like every single costume, you know? So, I feel like that ruins part of the game. So, there is another suit that is animated-esque in Miles Morales, but I won't say what it looks like, because it looks pretty darn cool. But to get back to my point, if you want a Ultimate Spider-Man remaster, I think wearing the Into the Spider-Verse suit or the animated suit is as close as you're going to get to that. So that's pretty cool that Insomniac is going so far in detail with the costumes, and it's going to be very intriguing to see what else they could look like down the line in the sequel. Of course, the black suits and the alternate versions of that costume we're going to get in next-gen territory. I can't wait. Did you give me a super chat? See, dude, I'm so sorry. Again, I can't look at my chat on here because on PS4 it doesn't show that type of stuff. So if you did, I appreciate it, but I don't really see anything on my phone, which I'm looking at as well. So, which I'm trying to keep side to side looking at stuff, but I apologize if I haven't been reading your comments. Let's see here. I'm doing all these puzzles, the circuit boards, just to get that experience so I can upgrade Peter better. Oh, whoops, wrong one. Let's see. That goes there, yes. Again, my brain is wired right now to Persona 5. I've been grinding through that game like nonstop recently because it's so much fun. But it's fantastic. Marvu, I hope Insomniac will add fully customizable suits in the PS5 sequel. Great point, dude. Great point. Because they've done it already in Sunset Overdrive. And that was one of the things we were speculating beforehand with Spider-Man PS4, is that would they add like a suit customization for that game to show, you know what? This is it. This is your Spider-Man. This is your hero. Make him how you would want him or her to look like. Now, not to say like make a Spider-Verse game, but in the sense like how would you design a Spider-Man suit with the lenses and the logo and the web pattern and the color, you know, all that would be fantastic. Now, the problem with that is that then you get into a Marvel's Avengers situation where the reason why the suits in that game are so lackluster and why there's not enough differentiation between the costumes from the comics to that is because A, Square Enix wants to monetize it as much as possible, but B, it's because they don't have the legal rights to use certain costumes, whereas that they had to get the legal rights to use the movie suits for Spider-Man PS4 and all that, which is why we see the what do you call it? The Raimi suit, the web suit, the Amazing suit, the MCU suits, all those costumes in Spider-Man PS4 versus here, so it gets very complicated very fast. But as for whether or not they can add more into Peter's game, will be a wait-and-see situation. But I think like having the opportunity, like make your own suit. I don't know if they're legally obligated to be licensed to do that from Marvel's approval in the sequel. I would hope so, but I don't know for sure. We will just have to wait and see. I'm like, you know, zoning out here. Hold on. We have this, which goes here. My brain, talking and doing this at the same time is not effective for me. So, oh, I have these. I thought I was missing a few for a second. So, that's not it. Here. One more again here. Yes. Okay, so now I gotta add the wires. But yeah, you know, it just gets intense most of the time in regards to how that's, you know, all portrayed through Marvel and their, you know, conglomerate, I would say. But I think having that added layer of depth and customization will have a lot of player interest. Like, oh, you thought taking photos with the costumes in Spider-Man PS4 and Miles looked cool? Guess what? Here's a whole other reason to play the game forever, because you can make your entirely brand new Spider-Man suit. Imagine how badass that would be. That would be such an amazing feature for them to incorporate. I think they should, actually. Not demanding it, of course. I wouldn't be mad if they don't. And as you know me, I don't care about suits. But I think if they want to engage more with players for the cosmetics in the game compared to these games that they've already done, I think a suit customization factor would add in a lot of interest from players. That would be sick, too. So let's see. There, here, go here, there again, here one more time. Bam. All right, so let's go here. I'm going to do it out of order, watch. So 1, 2, who knows if I'm even getting this number right. 3, that's there. 5, 2. Let's do a 4. Well, I can only do a 4. And let's do a 2. Nope, see, so let's see. Can I do a 1 here? Yes, I can. 6 again. 1, 1, 2. Oh, another 1 here. Now what about 2, 4? So what about 5? No. Now I can go back to 2. So let's go. Bam. Boom. No, wait. I'm making it worse. Or am I? I don't know. Wait. Hold on. My brain, you guys. Stay with me. I'm slow. It's okay. All right. And a 1. Bam. Great. All right. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's, you know, a fantastic idea, Marvu, that you brought up with the suit customization. That would be a great addition to the game. Great. So that's done. Again, everything's out in the lab. John's looking clean as usual. That's my guy. Swear to God. Rip to the man. It's going to hurt. That scene, again, as I've said before, if that scene at the end of the game where he's crying his eyes out to Otto and Aunt May does not live up to the full sequence with what John brought visually. I know it's Yuri's performance, but who are we seeing in the performance itself? We're not seeing Yuri, sadly. We're seeing John. And that's no harm, no dissing to Yuri or whoever, because I love them. I'm just saying that the standard player is looking at the model who's visually playing Peter, and that just so happens to be John. So, you know, that's just me. But this scene here, so this scene in the remaster, what I've seen, I saw this scene from a footage, you know, that's been distributed. It does look good, I will say. Still, John is way better. And you will not tell me otherwise that no one would be hyped if we had just got John back again, just upgraded. That would have been the best possible decision, and I thought what they were going to do in the first place when they brought up a next-gen Peter. Like, right here, this scene right here in the remaster with Ben's new face actually looks pretty good. The hair is improved. He has a bit more, you know, age, maturity to his faces, the wrinkles and the skin texture and all that. It's slight but noticeable. I just prefer John all the way. I'm sorry. That's it. But yeah. Looks great here, and I'm sure it'll look even better in the remaster in certain shots, visually, graphically, with the hair texture and the teeth and all that, but I think John does it for me. More so than Ben. But again, that's just through the clips we've seen online, so I'll have to play it on my TV as well for myself. You guys are seeing a stream with the text box in the side and my camera, but the game itself on a PS4 Pro running at 30 FPS still looks amazing. Like, looks like one-to-one detailed lifelike in some shots for New York City and Spider-Man. The remaster visually as well for the city looks even better for some shots. And specifically for what I've seen for Aunt May. Aunt May looks lifelike, pretty much, with Nancy Lenari and what they've done. And same could be said for Ben Jordan as well. I just don't think it matches this Peter Parker. Bullet Cruiser, sorry if you left a super chat or if someone left a super chat. Again, this is the kind of problem I run into where I don't have any mods or anyone on my, you know, on my streams managing stuff for me. I apologize. And I usually never get super chats, so that's kind of a shock for me as well. But thank you so much, Bullet Cruiser. What would you want to see most in the next game? Personally, I would love to see the Web of Shadows symbiote abilities with a £10 donation. Thank you so much, dude. I apologize in advance. You can leave an L for me in the chat. Definitely deserve it. I understand. That's what you get when you fly solo. And again, why I'm usually not streaming to avoid situations like this. So again, I apologize, but thank you, dude. It means the world to me. Yes, you are absolutely right. Again, what would I want to see the most in the next game? Symbiote, combat, graphics. Mainly, though, the story. I think the story, as me as a fan, intrigues me the most and makes me enveloped within the world that Insomniac is crafting. I don't have to look at all this. We know this already. I can just skip it. Bullet Cruiser says he would like to see Web of Shadows symbiote abilities. You are absolutely 110% correct, my friend. That is a necessity, to be honest, in the sequel. That's what they've already done, which I'm so excited, by the way, for Miles with his Venom powers. He has a Venom Blast, Venom Jump, in Traversal, by the way, as well. Not just in the combat, but in Traversal, swinging. He's faster with the Venom abilities, the Venom Dash, which is like him bum rushing people. What do you call it? We have that. the Venom jump I just said, the ground pound as well. So you see how they're incorporating the Venom abilities with Miles' character in combat and traversal to make him different from Peter, who's just like a base Spider-Man. You know, he has his webs and his gadgets and his moves, but that's it. He doesn't have like invisibility or electricity to help him out. He just fights well. Whereas in the sequel, I don't want that to be the case whatsoever. I want the symbiote to add speed, ferocity, ferociousness, anger, rage, strength, you know, all that when swinging and fighting enemies. I think that's going to be such a cool factor, but mainly, and I see another super chat, and I'll get to it in a second, I'm sorry, mainly the story. I'm already getting chills right now. Yuri Lowenthal, his acting, once he gets the black suit, angry Peter, or, you know, evil or darker Peter, is going to be one of the best things that is ever going to be implemented within a Spider-Man game ever. I'm telling you all right now, it's going to be madness. The narrative, and again, what Brian Intar said in interviews, like, we know how important that suit is for the symbiote, the black suit, and we wanted to save that suit for its own story. That's why it's not in Spider-Man PS4, because obviously they're building up to a Spider-Man 2 with the symbiote being a core asset of the narrative. And what better way to do that than to incorporate the madness, the strength, the rage, the not angst, but like the overall power and how it consumes Peter to his core from the comics is what makes me so hyped to see where that could go forward with. Either if that ends up being Harry as Venom or Eddie as Venom, or when Peter gets the black suit, how will he differ in comparison to his reactions and interactions with characters in the narrative compared to the first game. And I think that's going to be amazing. So, I'm sorry again, another super chat. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what this symbol is for the currency, but it's 100 of something, so thank you so much. Brown Boy Plays. Love from India. That India, thank you so much, dude. You mean the world to me. Thank you for even tuning into the stream from India. That's amazing. Can you give me a shout out? I am going to be streaming Miles Morales tomorrow. Absolutely, my dude. I can give you a shout out just for being awesome and staying into this stream and saying hi. But the fact that you did donate 100 currency from India, that's amazing. Thank you so much. But guys, go follow and subscribe. Support Brown Boy Plays with a Z as much as you can. He's amazing. He's a Chad, and he's probably like the best fan in this entire stream. I'm kidding. You guys are all amazing. Love to all of you. I'm just saying that Brown Boy Plays is literally a GOAT. Thank you so much. That is insane. That is wonderful. Thank you. I don't deserve it. Your support, your guys' support is more than enough. Just anyone who's planning to donate ahead of time. I hope I don't have you feel the need to be forced to do that. Just you leaving a like, tuning in, sharing your support, your love with the channel, your love for Spider-Man, knowing that you guys care about the stuff that I do. That's all I need now, and that's all I care about mainly, so thank you so, so much. But yeah, the symbiote storyline for the sequel is literally going to be amazing. Pricey Gaming is a mod. I know that. Thank you so much, dude. Hey, Evan, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing okay. Hope all you guys are doing okay. Thank you again. If you're just tuning in the stream, thank you for tuning in. Hope you're doing okay and staying safe. I hope that you guys are excited for Miles Morales. Let me know if you're playing it on PS5 or PS4. Leave in the chat right now, PS5 or PS4. Are you guys going to be playing Miles Morales on current gen or next gen? Me, I think I've said this already, but me, I'm doing current gen Miles first on PS4. Then I will be going on to PS5 afterwards, once I get the console, for the remaster to play through that with Ben Jordan's face to get the vibe for this Peter, and then replay Miles again onto the PS5 version with the haptic feedback and the graphic quality, the ray tracing and all that. It's gonna be amazing. Again, next gen is going places for sure, and it was also brought up in a recent article, which I will try and bring up soon. I see another donation really quick. I'm sorry, really quick if I missed one. Brown Boy Plays again. 40 donation. Thank you, bro. Love your vids. Thank you, dude. Honestly, support is fantastic. You're incredible. I'm sorry in advance if I'm missing anyone else's donations. I'm terrible when it comes to reading the chat. You guys know this by now. And that's why I barely stream as is. But for those of you who can tolerate me enough, thank you very much. But yeah, you guys, it's going to be crazy, and I think that Insomniac is going to be topping themselves like nuts once we get the sequel, because if you guys follow me on Twitter, or if you see just the news on Twitter, you would have probably seen this recent article. I think it was actually sourced first from IGN, but then PlayStation Lifestyle is the one who I saw it from. So they did an article pretty much saying that the head of technology over at Insomniac Games, Mike Fitzgerald, pretty much said that they are just scratching the surface for what they can do for Spider-Man on PS5. Notice how they didn't say just for PS5. They specifically said for Spider-Man on PS5. Now, the fact that they're making a sequel should be no surprise to anyone, but the fact that they're specifically saying, oh, you guys thought that Miles was like the first stepping stone for next gen? We're just getting started. And that's very accurate, because I've done a video about this already with my good buddy and fellow content creator Degenerate J on his channel and on my channel. You guys can check it out in the, in the video list. Is we talked about the importance of Miles Morales being a cross-generation game and why that should not happen for the sequel, because it's great and very consumer-friendly that Miles is coming out on both PS4 and PS5 on its day one launch, especially for someone like me who is not able to get a PS5 on day one launch. Being able to play Miles first on PS4 is going to be a great experience and will make it very easy for me to access the game. But on the flip side of that, it's also hindering the potential of fully developing a complete next-gen game for Miles Morales, because they're limiting themselves to both current-gen and next-gen hardware. That's why, luckily, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is not going to be cross-gen. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart from Insomniac Games is also going to be a full-on next-gen PS5-only title, whereas Spider-Man is only going to be, or Miles Morales, let me rephrase that. Spider-Man PS4 was only on PS4. That's why it's called Spider-Man PS4. Now we have Spider-Man Remastered, which is going to be now dubbed Spider-Man PS5, since that game, the remaster, is only on PS5. Miles Morales is different because it's both on PS4 and PS5, which is going to make a big difference in comparison for people who, again, may not be able to buy a next-gen console at launch. Maybe will wait until the full sequel for Spider-Man comes out to even buy a PS5. Maybe they won't even wait until they have money. Maybe they'll just wait until like a new game of their choosing comes out on PS5. Like, you know what? That's the game I want to get a PS5 for. Not even Spider-Man 2 or Miles Morales. Maybe it'll be like for, the next Naughty Dog game, or God of War 5, 5 only, I think, as well. So that will be the game I bet people will buy a PS5 exclusively for. And also, I think that will be the same case for Spider-Man 2. Again, only make it on PS5, fully embrace the next-gen hardware that the PS5 is capable of, revitalize the city, add the other districts of Brooklyn and Queens, of course. That's another factor I hope reappears or appears in the sequel, is the expansion of the districts of Manhattan and New York as a whole. And just see what they can do with the capabilities of their open world with fully utilizing nothing but PS5. Whereas if it was on PS5 and PS4, then I would be a bit concerned for the official sequel. It's fine now for Miles, since, again, this is a standalone game. It's using the same assets from the first game, just kind of redoing some things with Miles. It's shorter. It's in a smaller scope in comparison to the first game, so it makes more sense for them to do that. But again, for the sequel, they need to do only next-gen to give us the best possible next-gen experience ever for a Spider-Man game. That was how I felt with Spider-Man PS4 at launch on in 2018, which was midway through the PS4's life cycle and halfway through the PS4 Pro's life cycle. But the PS5, I think the sequel is going to knock it out, everything, all of our expectations out of the park. And seeing that, Mike Fitzgerald from Insomniac pretty much said you haven't seen nothing yet, like pretty much said that, gives me like goosebumps to see where they could go next with Peter's story and the visual fidelity of the Symbiote as well, and Venom and Green Goblin. Like, I imagine how good those character models are going to look on next gen. I cannot wait for that. I am so pumped. Let's see. I don't know what's happening here, but boom. You get some health back too. I know I'm probably doing terrible, but I don't have any of the gadgets, and my focus bar is so slow. But yes, I also saw a super chat. I'm sorry, I will look at it right when I'm done defeating these guys. I'm terrible. In advance, you can put an L in the chat. I deserve it and understand it and also appreciate it, because it shows you guys are listening to me as well, which is very, very heartwarming. So thank you. Boom. Oh, Web Rodeo off the building. Murder. No, I'm kidding. He's fine. Spider-Man does not kill. Neither does Batman. Spider-Man can kill if he wants, but we don't like that. And Spider-Man's better than that because Peter he's a nice guy. He doesn't want to murder anyone right off the bat because they'll stick to the building instead. Let's see. And final takedown. Boom. All right, nailed it. Sorry I missed another super chat. 10 pounds from Bullet Cruiser again. I agree. Story is important. So, you know, we got to have some Black Cat. Perhaps MJ sits this one out. Very interesting, you know, assumption or a very interesting suggestion, Bullet Cruiser, is that you're right. You know, we have more of Peter and Mary Jane's development off-screen in Miles since he'll be in Symbiote. But in the sequel, again, if you guys have read the Hostile Takeover prequel novel or just have heard stuff from Insomniac, Gwen Stacy is not dead in this universe. She was teased in Hostile Takeover, the prequel novel, and she was also hinted at on Twitter from Insomniac, you know, back in 2018, where someone asked the same thing, like, oh, I guess we won't see Gwen Stacy in this game since she's dead. And then James Stevenson from Insomniac replied saying, who said she was dead? So they're flat out hinting, again, setting up stuff for the sequel. If we get Green Goblin with Norman Osborn and Venom with Harry Osborn, will we see the death of Gwen Stacy in the sequel? I don't know, but that would be freaking sick. And I would love that if they focused on Gwen instead of Mary Jane, since we already have her fully established in the first game. And same thing with Black Cat, but I think maybe with Black Cat it was hinted at in the Heist DLC and the Silver Lining DLC that Felicia's kind of gone now. Look at the city for a second. On PS4, the sunset time, God, still looks gorgeous. Even through the stream, it looks fantastic. I can only imagine how it's going to look on the remaster. Again, not digging Peter's face, but visually, the city looks breathtaking. And I can't wait to, you know, experience that on my TV on both 60 FPS and 30 FPS. Although I will say, they're really trying to, you know, sell you on that high fidelity mode ray tracing stuff for the 30 FPS. So I think that is the setting I'm going to play the game on first and then try it out afterwards on 60 FPS instead. Damn, God, this game's gorgeous. Even though there's no reflections and stuff, I think it will add a whole another layer of immersion and fidelity for the city. Sorry to cut you off, Otto. We're just trying to get this to this objective really, really quick. Let's see. All right. Now, this is the Empire State Building, of course. I almost said the Chrysler Building for some reason. And I've been to New York, so I know that. I should know this, which I do. I promise. But, yes. What TV do I got? Says Zakargia Salama. I have a... it's hard the model to describe it. I have a curved, one of those curved TVs, 4K, from Samsung. It's an older model, though. We've had it since 2017, 16, I think. So it's been around for a while, but it still looks, you know, runs movies and games in 4K and high quality. So it's pretty good. Zach, thank you for your question. Appreciate it. Let's see again. Did I miss any other super chats? I feel like I did. And again, I'm so sorry if I did. Bullet Cruiser, of course. Brown Boy Plays. Huge shout out again to both of them. You guys are the best. Definitely support them, you guys, as much as you can. They definitely deserve it. All right, boom. Time to kill in the city. Feel free like diving. Woo! Whammo. Bam. Done. Suit's incredible. I can't do air tricks either, sadly, since I don't have the upgrade on. Although I'm stupid and I bought the wrong upgrade, didn't I? I bought the one on the left. Yeah, I should have bought the one on the right. Oh, I have all my skill points available. Okay, so now air tricks. Let's do one each. So Defender here. Let's see, he'll do throw. I feel like I have that one already. Perfect hit. Yeah, sure. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's just, you know, doing air tricks for air tricks' sake. Quick recovery is actually really good. Actually, just get all these. The traversal upgrades are pretty important. Charge jump. Quick zip actually helps out too. Point launch boost. Should have got that. Oh well, that's fine. Suits. I know you guys probably want to see a different costume right now, I bet. So we'll go with it. We'll rock the Maguire attire. Why not? Advanced suit still the best suit. Don't at me. That's the statement of fact, by the way. I'm just kidding, but that's my opinion. Although I will say, you know, weirdly enough, They showed the Amazing Spider-Man suit on the PS5 remaster in someone's live stream. Looks good. It's just that, if you notice, it looks a bit different from how it does in the movie, mainly with two things. One, the eyes are bigger, and the back design usually is flat on the suit in the movie, where it has like, I'll try and describe it, it has like a trapezoid design, where it has like, it's flat here on the bottom, where his shoulders are here, then on the back, behind his neck, it goes diagonally up, and then flat across. Whereas here in the game, they showed a shot of it from the back in the remaster, and it goes flat on the shoulders, diagonally up, and instead of flat, they kind of did like a curve, like a point to kind of straighten it out a bit or something. So it's not one-to-one detail into the suit from the film into the game. They kind of did a little bit of adjusting to the costume for some reason. And I'm not a fan of that, because a lot of people were complaining, oh, the Raimi suit's not red enough, or the blue's a different color, or whatever. It's like, well, the suit looks one-to-one iconic. It's just that the color grading might be a bit different because of your settings on the PS4. The suit itself looks perfect. The logo's perfect, the eye lenses are perfect, the webbing is perfect, it's one-to-one detail, the body shape is literally Tobey Maguire, and it looks like it jumped right out the movie. Now again, I'm not a big fan of suits, but I will say that the fact that the Amazing suit doesn't look one-to-one compared to the movie's design does throw me off a bit. But I'll still wear it, and I'll have fun wearing it, but it kind of looks odd compared to the other costumes, like the Far From Home suits, the MCU suits, the Raimi suit, and I think one other costume. Now, we're here, actually. This is the sequence from... Oh! Yeah, we're at the E3 2017 demo area. Eli Jude Hotel? Yeah. Hype. Hype is real. Is he dead? Wait, where'd he go? Oh my god. I was like, what happened to this guy? And throw him off the building. No, almost. Wait. Off. There he goes. Bye-bye. And safe, because he can't kill anyone, because that's not what Spider-Man would do. I think, Miles does the same thing in his game. I'm assuming so. I haven't seen any footage of them doing that. But I would think a 16-year-old kid would not murder someone. We will see. Or 17, actually, I think. Wait, 23 minus 8 years is 15. No, so Miles... Yeah, so Miles in Spider-Man PS4 was 15 years old. In his own game, Miles Morales, he's 16 years old. And I'm pretty sure that Brian Horton confirmed that as well online. So, cool. Gotta get that canon age correct for the characters. And again, I'm 22 years old. John Bubniak in real life is 1 year older than me, so he's 23 years old. Peter Parker in this game is literally 23. Looks fantastic for a Spider-Man who's been 8 years into his career. Looks like that to me, for sure. That's the same issue I have with Tobey Maguire, even in his movies, where if you remember in Spider-Man 1, at the beginning of Spider-Man 1, it's hard to keep all these movies in check. At the beginning of Spider-Man 1, Peter graduates high school, I believe, in that movie. Not college, high school. He graduates high school in Spider-Man 1, and then also graduates high school at the beginning of Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, yeah, that's right, because he's still in college in Spider-Man 2 in that movie, and then in Spider-Man 3, he's, like, getting his act together and getting a job and stuff at the Bugle, but he's also, like, not in college anymore. No, actually, he top my class. Never mind. In Spider-Man 3, he says that with the guy shining the light in his face, like, I'm still in my, school, top of my class, with, Doc Connors and stuff. So I'm all over the place. Ignore me, guys. I gotta rewatch the movies again. It's been a while. And also, I've been mainly focusing on Miles versus the films as well. What I'm trying to get at, though, as my complaint, is that John Bubniak's character model perfectly fits the aesthetic of a 23-year-old Spider-Man who's been that for 8 years, or a 23-year-old Peter Parker who's been Spider-Man for 8 years. Tobey was apparently an 18-year-old in high school in the first movie and in the second movie, because in the second movie, when obviously he stops the train from collapsing from Doc Ock, messing with the conductor and all that, and he holds it back, in the film. And then he gets carried by the passengers in that movie. There's a specific line from one of the passengers where he says, oh, he's unmasked. Peter is unmasked since he had to take his mask off since his lens were damaged. He says, he's just a kid. No older than my son? Unless your son is like 30 years old or something, then I guess. But like, I'm assuming he's meaning like a teenage kid? Like, okay, like no. Toby at the very least, of course, he was young at age when he was in the role. But it's the same thing, like, he looked too old to be a high school student because he was in high school, because he just graduated high school. This Peter just graduated college, which is why the aesthetic of John, his face, the older Peter versus the Ben Jordan look, who looks way too young for this version of the character. I'm sorry. I know I'm whining or just complaining. I understand. I'm just not a fan of the change. That's just me, and I will keep saying that to get my point across. I know there's probably some other people to talk to, and there's Aunt May, but we'll just talk to Martin Lee. Stephen O'Young, my man. Now, I am very curious to see those instant load times, though. I did see the scene where they transitioned in the remaster from the beginning, where it showed Peter, he took down Wilson Fisk, he went to Otto's lab, and talked to Otto, and he just went in the door, and then there was the cutscene. So it's like, that's crazy with the instant loading. So that is going to be a huge advantage from this game to the next gen. And see, like, the hair looks fine in these shots. The facial animations looks incredible from John. They look related, by the way, which is the biggest factor from these two, is that they look related. They look like nephew and aunt, not like aunt and distant, like, third relative cousin or something like that. Like, they are no way related with the new Peter to John. Their hair's even the same, my guy. What are you talking about with people like, it doesn't match? No, he just graduated college. He's getting his life together. He's thanking Aunt May. He's becoming more mature as a young adult. I'm sorry, just no. It does not mesh well at all. I apologize, but, it's just not good. You see the emotion in his face, too. But again, that's because of Yuri, but also thanks to the visual capture that they did for John as well. So, it's a flip of the coin. It's a flip of the coin. It could be really good or really bad. It's just the more that I see John in this role, the more that I am heavily disassociated with the remastered version of Peter Parker. And, they also showed this scene, by the way, too, in the remaster. Now, I haven't seen this scene, but I've seen, like, screenshots of them where they show the exact shot with Stephen as Martin Lee, Nancy as Aunt May, and Ben as Peter. And Nancy and Stephen look absolutely incredible in those shots. He's on par with that too? Like, no, dude, John's perfect. I'm sorry. Yes, Red Beast. Thank you. Jordan's face doesn't match Yuri's voice. That's so weird too, because it also has to do with one thing. To give them credit, it's because we're so synchronized with the symmetry between Yuri's voice and John's face, since we've played this game, this version of the game, so much. So I'll have to play the remaster for myself to see how in those scenes it'll differ between the two character models. But he looks way too young, and Peter's voice sounds way too deep. So it doesn't mesh well at all, especially when you have that deep fake going on with Tom Holland. So I'm sorry, it does not mesh well for me in certain shots. And I'll have to get used to it the more I play it. But you cannot, and again, I'm sorry, you cannot deny that if they had simply just got John back for Peter and enhanced him graphically and gave him better hair and maybe adjusted the face a little bit, but it's still John as Peter, there would be no complaining. No one would be thrown off by it. There would be nothing with that. So, I don't know. But Red Beast, you are completely, accurate with that statement. The voice, especially in the Miles clip, that we saw in Miles Morales, where they're on the rooftop talking to Peter. They just defeated Rhino. He's talking like, I promise to protect this city. That did not work at all for me. In the remaster, some scenes looked okay, but at least in the Miles version, which again, if you guys don't know, Ben Jordan is going to be Peter on both the remaster and Miles Morales on PS4. So he's on both versions of Miles, no matter which generation you're buying. So John's gone, Ben's here to stay. Hurts my heart to say that, but it is what it is. I'm not a fan of it at all. I will continue to express that. And people are like, you just gotta accept the change, Evan. I've always said that am growing to get accustomed with it. I just disagree with the change. Will I accept it? Possibly. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. I absolutely disagree with it wholeheartedly. I think they did John a disservice, considering the amount of work that he put into crafting Peter aesthetically to get the tone right. He also said in the interview that I had with him, he had to match Yuri and his voice acting with the performance he did visually for the face for the motion capture. So that way they could gather more data for him in the final result. And it was perfect. So I don't know what they did with Ben. I'm assuming he put just as much effort into the game as John did. I would love to interview him too about the situation as well. But I just don't think, again, it's going to hold the same impact as how I first played the game in 2018. Now, that's another argument that I see people say. My man Luke in the chat, bring back Bubniak. Again, yes, but we don't want to, diss Ben Jordan, or we don't want to harass the developers or anything like Brian Intar got with the death threats. That's not acceptable. That is garbage. We as the Spidey Squad do not support that kind of behavior at all. We are just saying, Luke and I, since he's here, as fans, that we do not agree with the choice that Insomniac made to replace John and would instead prefer John over Ben. Still, we are willing to give Ben a chance to see his full performance in action, and maybe we might like it. Maybe we might end up liking Ben, but I will guarantee you right now, even if it turns out I like Ben, he will still never, compete with how I feel towards John. Because I think John, to me, and Luke as well, and I'm sure some of you guys as well watching maybe, that he is the definitive version of Peter Parker for me in this game's universe. Some of you guys might say that's Tobey Maguire, that's Tom Holland, that's Andrew Garfield. For me, it's in the comics, out of the comics, in the movies, out of the movies, in the games, out of the games. I think, and especially after meeting him in person, I think John Bumyak completely embodies Peter Parker to me, and will always hold a special place in my heart. Even if he's just a face. That could be just a thing, even if he is just a face. Yuri is Spider-Man, for sure to me, without a doubt. Yuri's performance is the main reason why this game is so good for me, is because of his characterization with Peter Parker and the performance he brings to the character. But again, who are we seeing in the game when we're playing it? We're not seeing Yuri's face. We're not seeing any of the other developers' faces. We're not seeing Ben Jordan's face the first time we played the game 22 years ago. We're seeing John. And we're seeing him as Peter. And that's what the majority of people have now synchronized as the one and only Spider-Man within Insomniac's game. And the face, while some people may like it, you can't deny that the change to it was very unexpected and very jarring. And still, like myself, there are some people getting used to the change. It all depends on how it's executed with those scenes I'm talking about, the emotional moments. And I will have to wait and see for myself to decide whether or not I think it's a good choice. And I can see them maybe polishing Ben up a bit more by the time we head towards the sequel. Since they're not going to go back to John, they're going to keep Ben no matter what. Or if they're going to make him younger or something. And then I would have a huge, flaw with that version, that decision that they've done. But we will see. Just checking really quick to see if I missed anyone's messages or super chats. I don't think Franco's here in the mods, but I do appreciate Pricey Gaming for being here briefly to mod the chat for a little bit. Sorry to hear me ranting. I apologize. Again, this is the last Spider-Man PS4 stream, so you probably won't hear me ranting about it ever again on a stream. It might differ when I play the game on a PS5. But for now, this is it, guys. And I'm still very curious to see exactly how this is going to end up in the final result. I'm just checking messages really quick. Let's see. Double check settings. Everything's good. Great. Insomniac rules. Victor Benitez. You're absolutely right. In Insomniac we trust. And again, to make myself clear, I'm very excited because in a way, again, I'm not a fan of the remodeling, as I made clear. But on a bright side, to give them benefit of the doubt, it'll feel like a completely different game. The city itself, the aesthetic of the ray tracing, even the 60 FPS performance mode, the graphical enhancements for all the characters, the performances, the enhancements of the textures on each of the character models is going to feel like a completely different experience. So, in a way, it's almost like a brand new game that you're playing with the remaster to make it feel even more cinematic and compelling than the first game in terms of performance quality and visual aesthetic for the city and the graphic enhancements and the gameplay to give you, as they've said, the most immersive Spider-Man experience ever. With Miles, but also for the remaster. Holy smokes, I'm about to die. So, when they do that, it's going to be nuts to see, like, wow, you know, this scene with Ben Jordan's Peter for, I would say, as an example, the Miles Morales funeral scene where he's talking to Miles at the funeral. That's going to feel completely different with Ben's acting, or Ben's visual acting. Again, it's weird to describe because it is still Yuri Lowenthal acting. It's him acting as Peter with both motion capture and facial capture applied to the face model of John Bubniak and Ben Jordan from PS4 and PS5. So really, we're seeing Yuri's performance translated onto someone else's face, but because of that, it's going to feel like a completely different type of game when we play it for ourselves with the graphical enhancements, the brand new suits, the trophies as well, the photo mode inclusions, the ray tracing, the performance mode, all that. You know, it's going to look fantastic, and I can't wait to get my hands on a PS5 to try it out for myself. I also see that my boy Vigilante Spider just got his PS5 a day early, apparently. I think it shipped to him early than expected. Congrats, my bud. Jordan, you're fantastic. And enjoy. I didn't give it away. I'm just saying that he ordered his online and he got it early, which is great. Do people who are playing early have a disc version? Says Bruden. I don't know. I would assume digital, since it's downloading on their consoles faster. But some people may have a disc copy of Miles if they ordered it online, you know, like through digital methods. I'm picking up my Miles copy in person at my local GameStop tomorrow in the afternoon. So that's what my plan is. Whether or not it will, you know, also come with a PS5, we'll wait and see. But for right now, I still have Miles and the remaster plan to purchase physically, in person at my local store. God, I thought that guard saw me for a second. That's right, I have to be closer to them because I don't have the upgrade of the lengthier stealth takedown. They're seeing him walk, so that's not possible. Here goes this guy. I'm trying to do the side objectives to get more XP. So here's him. Safe. Can't we just put the PS4 disc of Spider-Man PS4 on PS5? It'll be John's face. Yes and no, DR, TP. So you can't... So the Well, actually, you're right. So the PS4 version of Miles... This is really weird. So, to break it all down, as easily as I possibly can, Miles Morales is coming on both PS4 and PS5. Say you buy the PS4 version of Miles Morales, but you want to upgrade to the PS5 version once you get the console. You can do that for absolutely free from PS4 to PS5 for Miles. However, if you also want the remaster for Spider-Man PS4, you have to add on an additional $20 from the base purchase of the main game, which is $50, and add an additional $20 to get the remaster as well. However, the remaster is coming with the enhanced capabilities of the DualSense controller, and the haptic feedback, and the 3D audio, and the graphic enhancements, and all that stuff, and of course, Ben Jordan's face. But, which is crazy, at the same time, Spider-Man PS4, the base game with John Bubniak's face, will be backwards compatible on the PS5. So you can still play John Bubniak's version, which will still look a little bit visually improved thanks to backwards compatibility on the PS5 through the PS4. So it's very, very weird. It's very, very weird. The whole, system that they've formed for themselves, it makes sense from a consumer perspective if you stop and think about it for a second, but just that description alone that I gave makes it sound like I'm doing like a math equation or something like, all right, buy one version, get another version for free, add plus $20, you get $70, carry the two, how much money do you have left over? The answer is that you're bankrupt because you're going to be buying all the Spider-Man games on day one like me, because I'm a goddamn idiot. So I know, like, as I already said, I'm doing this all out of pocket with the giveaway. So I'm spending, $70 twice for the ultimate remaster, the ultimate version for Miles Morales on PS5. One for me and one for you guys to give away. And a PS4 version for Miles Morales to play on my PS4. And a PS5. A physical version, you know, with the disc slot, because I don't like the digital version. I love games physically, so I'm going to be getting the Blu-ray disc drive PS5, which is $500. So 70 times 2 is 140. 140 plus 500 is 640. Plus another 50 is $710. Is that how much I'm spending? I think so. $710 in one day. So, and I only have like a couple $1,000s in my bank account. So, whoo! And wish me luck, boys. You know, like, oh, man, it's gonna be very exciting time. So, man, phew. Yeah, DRTV, it is very confusing, but I appreciate your appreciation for my explanation. Hopefully you guys understood that as well. So again, to recap, you will be able to play this version of the game with John Bubniak's face on PS5 through backwards compatibility. However, it will not have the addition of the ray tracing or the DualSense controller or the anything like that. It'll just be this game slightly boosted thanks to the backwards compatibility onto the PS5, but it'll play and feel the exact same here on PS5 with backwards compatibility. Whereas the remaster, that has the additional graphical enhancements, the DualSense enhancements, the 3D audio. That's what I'm buying the remaster for, honestly. I could care less about the face, since I think it's a massive downgrade. I'm mainly thinking of the gameplay, the DualSense capabilities, the graphical enhancements, seeing New York as best as possible within the aesthetic of Spider-Man PS4, and it's going to be phenomenal. So, that's a W all around. But yeah, $500 for a PlayStation 5 physical version with the disc. $140 on top of that, since I'm getting two ultimate versions, one for me and one to give away. So $640 plus the PS4 Miles version, which is $50, so that's $710. Yeah, so $790. $690 actually, my bad. $690 for me to pay for on launch day. I'm bad at math, you guys. Don't listen to me. Stay in school. Honestly, it helps out. But yeah, $690 is probably. I guess I meant $710 with tax, probably, which most likely will be the case. But if you're just taking things at face value with no tax, that's $690. Probably $710 with tax. Holy smokes! I'm so close to dying, but also so close to winning. So let's see if I can do this. And I did all the side objectives, so let me just demolish these guys normally. Excuse me. Oh. Wear a mask, too. I just sneezed, but even though there's no one outside or inside the house right now, still wear a mask near your loved ones. Helps out a lot. Golden Sea, hey, can I have tips on streaming and how to pick up views? Systems Spider-Man 2 would help a ton because I have 31 subs and almost no viewers. I'm sorry I missed whose name that was, but yes, dude, just do your best. Again, you guys know my whole story. I've said it 1,000 times. I start with nothing. I just did videos with my iPhone. I was consistent with my content, just talking about Spider-Man because I love the game and honestly couldn't stop thinking about it for 2 years straight. And you guys came to me because you guys are the best audience a guy could have ever asked for, and your support means the entire world to me. So thank you all so much, and just keep at it, dude. You know, if you want to get there to subs and views, I'm assuming you will. I have faith in you that you will get it. Just keep doing your best and share your passion with the world as openly and honestly as possible, and you will get there eventually. No worries. Let me use the drones, because I'm kind of getting swarmed by these guys, and I don't want to die. Oh my god, I wasn't even near the gunshot when it happened, but alright. Whoa! And I'm dead. Sadness. Oh, pain and suffering as a whole. Woo! And I'm also wearing the Tom Holland suit, so that's why. What am I doing? I'm wearing Ben Jordan's costume while wearing John's face. Unacceptable. This is obviously a glitch in the game. I'm obviously the greatest Spider-Man player of all time. That is a straight fact. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, it's a joke. Calm down. I know people on Twitter would go crazy with that. Like, look at Evan thinking he's entitled and better than everyone. Like, no, it's a joke. Chill. Let's wear this suit because Insomniac actually makes good costumes. Let's see. And I did say that because I'm not a fan of the Far From Home suit. Hot take. You guys should know that by now, though. Brown Boy Plays left another super chat. I'm sorry I missed it. Did you really? I missed it again. Right there, 40 currency. Thank you so much, Brown Boy Plays. Are you streaming on PS4? I answered this question already, but I will answer it again just for you, Brown Boy Plays, because you're amazing. Answer is no. At least, not at first. I will stream Miles Morales after I beat it. That's the exception, is that right now we're doing the last final stream for Spider-Man PS4 before Miles Morales releases tomorrow on PS4 and PS5. Leave a like if you're enjoying it, and also thank you for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, it means a lot to me. But, for the most part, I will play Miles by myself without any distractions, no commentary, no live reaction, no Let's Play first. But I will live stream it after I beat the game and then replay it on the channel for you guys, which will be super fun and incredibly exciting to see. So hopefully you guys will tune into those to see, me talk about the game. Might even have some guests, maybe if you guys want to see like Slickmoth or Salvage or any of the Gotham Knights folks or the other Spidey Squad members in here talking about the game and what we liked, what we didn't like, what we were hoping for in the sequel. Kind of what we did today already, kind of what we just did with this stream, but on a more detailed level with more people. And I'm very excited to see that in full. Let's see. Boom. Done. I was very close to winning. I can't believe I lost with the upgrade suit on, but let me do this again. To get the side objectives. Boom. Done. Where's another one? Over here somewhere? Right. On the side. Bam. Take these barrels. Pow. Another barrel. A box. Boom. Hitting someone with a bag of sand. Boom. I pulled down the girder. I did not mean to do that. Let's see. Bam. Oof. Right on the box, too. Swing around. Bam. Done. 4 more. We got this. Pow. Another one. How about this? Boom. 2 more. Oh, wait. Does that count? No. Because you have to throw an object. Grenade. Boom. 1 more and bam. All right. Now I can just go. And I also don't have the Web Blossom suit power. That's why I'm kind of not really utilizing it to the best of my abilities right now with the combat. But still, I'm excited nonetheless. Bam. Nope. Did not mean to get that guy. Let's see. Over here. Over the top. Bam. Woo! Alright, let's see. Crazy1901, hopefully you can get a PS5 soon, Evan. Thank you, dude. I really hope so as well, because I want to give back to you guys. So as a flip side, I think maybe I might have answered this already, but I will say this to you guys. So, I will be, obviously, getting Miles, as I've said, on PS4 first, playing that by myself, not streaming it. But, since the remaster is literally this game, but already, we've played it a million times already. I'm assuming you guys have played it a million times just like I have for Spider-Man PS4 with the remaster. The only difference is the graphical enhancements and the new face. I won't really feel the need to, play it by myself first for the remaster. That one I think I will do a live playthrough of whenever I get it. Like, okay guys, we're starting up the remaster for Spider-Man PS5. Ben Jordan is Peter Parker. Not digging it, but the gameplay is still sick. And here's the amazing suit, and the Arachnid Rider suit, and the Armored Advanced suit. So it's all good in the hood. And I'm going to be very happy to be able to play that for you guys on the channel, since I know you'll want to see my reactions to Ben's facial capture and stuff. So that is the exception. I will do an initial live playthrough for the remaster first on the channel. Once I get a PS5, whenever that may be, Miles will be different. Miles, I'll hold off, play it first, and then play it again for the live stream after having already beaten it. So hopefully you guys will understand that. I know you guys would probably very much like to see my playthrough, but again, I'm more than happy to do a review on it so I can talk about the game properly with all of you once we beat it for ourselves, and once you guys can see, like, I'll be able to talk about the spoilers and the story and the narrative and the graphic capabilities and the gameplay and all the stuff in action after having fully played it for myself properly without being distracted from the chats and the comments and the drama and stuff and all that. It'll just be me and the game. And I'm sure that's how you guys would probably want as well if you guys don't, have it's different for me since I have a YouTube channel. You know, that's probably why you guys are asking that, since I do YouTube videos about Spider-Man. But again, I care more about the game than the video itself. Like, there's like I said earlier, millions of videos out, or a video out there with millions of views showcasing the suits for Miles without having us even play the game yet. And I think that, I consider that to be a spoiler for some people. Like, if you show, like, hey, here's the anti-Ox suit, but you don't give context, like, oh, here's this black and yellow Spider-Man suit, and you still see it, like, well, that's still spoiling a costume that heavily relates to the story for the game. And it would have been a lot more emotionally impactful for people if you just saw the suit for yourself without getting it spoiled in advance. So, like, the same thing, like, if there's a suit in Miles that appears or whatever that relates to the story that I shouldn't have seen from a video or whatever, then I'll feel, like, cheated almost. But again, I've already said that because I got slightly spoiled from the videos that have been put out for the remaster, and Miles slightly from stupid YouTube thumbnails that are posting spoilers. So be on the lookout for, you know, stuff like that. If you see videos or whatever about, like, the ending of the game, you know, here's the final plot point. I'm not sure what it is myself, but I'm just saying as an example. Here's the ending for Miles Morales, and it shows whatever, you know, like, that's a spoiler. So that would suck, and I would not want to ruin that experience for any of you. So I myself don't want to have to deal with either. So that's where we're at right now. All right, boom. I don't know how I'm still fighting these guys. I'm getting tired a little bit. Doing my best, but let's see. Bam! Again, boom. My favorite takedown right here. Now, again, the Miles' takedowns look a lot more acrobatic and athletic versus Peter's. But again, Peter's been more graceful, and he's been Spider-Man for 8 years, so he's more equipped with fighting. He just wants to get the job done instead of just trying to, you know, flaunt on them with the flexing of his invisibility and the flips and the tricks and stuff. He's like, here's these guys. Let me take them down as quickly as possible without, like, flipping around and doing all this crazy stuff. So, although I will say I am hoping that they do add more style and animation variety when it comes to the swinging, mainly, and some combat animations when we get the sequel in the black suit for Spider-Man, because that's what will be the difference. And it also adds context to the story, where Peter will have the black suit, he'll feel more energetic than ever before, so maybe it'll encourage him to want to try and do more acrobatic moves, or swinging styles, or combat abilities that you may have not seen in the first game, that could be added into Peter's moveset with the black suit, with the addition of the symbiote tendrils, possibly adding more variety for the depth of combat. So that's hype. I'm pumped. Insomniac is going to kill it with the black suit, I think, and I really do hope, I know this is probably a hot take, but I really do hope that the black suit, Venom, or whoever the black suit pertains to, still relates to Harry as Venom and not Eddie Brock. I think that's such an intriguing choice for them to do. We've already had this great connection with Harry from the first game with the research stations at Oscorp, so we already have an insight to his character. So discovering how they can flesh that out even further by the time they add him in the sequel or whatever would be amazing to witness unfold, and dive deeper into what makes Harry tick to Peter, and what Harry means to Peter on a personal level. Yeah, like, I'm pumped. Resident Evil player symbiote suit sounds awesome right now. You bet your ass it does. Man, I cannot wait. That will be the make or break factor for the sequel. Like, will the black suit live up to its hype? What will they do to the black suit to make it different from the first game or Miles' game? You know, I want the black suit, you gotta think too, I want the black suit to be more powerful than Miles' Venom powers and invisibility, since he'll have extra strength, faster, angrier, more keen with his senses, unlimited web fluid, so he doesn't have to worry about running out of that with the, you know, the time limit for the web shooters on that. Symbiote tendrils, if they decide to do it like an Ultimate Spider-Man, or an, Shattered Dimensions or Web of Shadows style type of gameplay, where he has like the symbiote tendrils coming out of him and using that to combat, that would be sick. And I would be super hyped for that. But anyways, guys, I think that might be it. You know, let's see, we've been doing, I think I shouted out Brown Boy Plays, answered his question. I try to answer as many of your guys' questions as possible. Again, I'm sorry if there was someone in the chat being rude or hurting your feelings or spoiling stuff. I can't control that. Again, I'm sorry. I can't manage the stream and the comments at the same time while playing. I'm just one guy. And I've also said I'm not used to streaming in general. So that's an L. Again, L on my part. So I apologize. But just bear with me, and I appreciate your understanding and your support for all these years. Even if you're just a new viewer who might have just discovered me through the Miles Morales coverage. I still thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate your support massively. And I can't thank you enough for all the hype that you've personally given me while we're getting closer to Miles Morales. Let's try and end the stream off on a high note. Let's go find the Spidey Squad Easter egg, and then we'll end the stream. But let's see. What do you think of Josh Keaton's Peter in Spectacular Spider-Man? Says Noah Aronson. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Love it. It's great. I think he fits the high school aesthetic well, while also giving him a much more, quirky, not quirky, but, enthusiastic and very lively, energetic Peter that we may have not seen anywhere else. And I think, besides what I personally think is my personal favorite Spider-Man cartoon is the new animated series with Neil Patrick Harris, I think that Josh Keaton does a both mature teenager and adult Peter Parker great, because we've seen him with that in Spectacular Spider-Man, as well as Edge of Time Spider-Man, where he's older. Because in Shattered Dimensions, Josh Keaton just voiced teenager Ultimate Spider-Man, where he was in the black suit. But he still voiced him incredibly, and Josh Keaton's obviously one of the go-to voice actors for Spider-Man out there. Besides Yuri, besides even Christopher Daniel Barnes, it's definitely Josh Keaton all the way. Jagger07, been watching you since 2018. Thank you, bro. I hope I've been doing you justice with the videos. Thank you for staying tuned this long. That means the world to me. Let's see. There's the waypoint, but I should probably have memorized where the logo is by now, you would think, right? But I think it's somewhere nearby, but I can't tell without the building's logo showing the backpack symbol on the mini-map. It's probably like right on the left side of this building or something. It's close, I think. What was I going to say, though? Yeah, thank you all for tuning in the stream. Miles Morales is here, guys. It's going to be nuts. And again, please don't spoil the game for me or anyone else who's still waiting to get their, copy in stock or playing in the game on PS5, whatever it is. It'll be great. Another super chat from Brown Boy Plays 40 currency. It's late in India. Bye. Love your videos. Stay safe. Love you, bro. Thank you so much, dude. I'm so sorry I haven't read your responses instantly. It doesn't show up on the TV screen who's leaving a super chat and who's not, so I apologize. That's why I'm looking on the side to my phone here if you're just trying to read that. Thank you all who donated. Even thank you all for tuning in, leaving a like, watching this long. It means the world to me, and I cannot thank you enough for all of the support you've all shown me throughout these past years. It truly means more to me than you'll ever know. And seeing that we're starting this next chapter with Miles and the remaster for Spider-Man PS4 is insane. And I can't wait. Okay, so here it is. I should probably, jot this down in my memory. I should probably have already memorized this from day one. So, we're in Central Park, near the end. And you know what's crazy? Look where we are. I wouldn't even say it. I'll wait for you guys to see it in the chat. Where the Spidey Squad logo is located, look at the district on the top left-hand corner. Look where we are. Where it just so happens to be. Harlem. Where's that? Oh yeah, the home of Miles Morales in the new game. Frickin' nuts. That's like the craziest coincidence you could ever think of. So, the Spidey Squad is also in the heart of Harlem, just like Miles Morales is in his game. So you can keep that in mind while playing the game. And again, we'll look at the logo right now. This isn't just me. This isn't just the main, core group of the guys who I refer to as the Spidey Squad, who made the group in 2016 with me. It's you guys. Well, let's hear Yuri's amazing voice. It's all of you guys. And, that's just a testament to the passion that Insomniac have for the fan base. Again, that's not just, oh, look at the Evan Easter egg, look at the Spidey Squad. No, that is for you. The viewer, that is for you who loves this character to death just as much as me, just as much as any of the team at Insomniac and Marvel, just as much as any fan around the world, America, India, Asia, China, Africa, wherever you may be, no matter who you are, what you do, you are a fan of this character just like me, just like anyone else. We all love him, her, whoever your favorite Spider person is to death. For me personally, of course, my favorite is Peter Parker. Grew up with him with, of course, the Sam Raimi trilogy, but also the comics. And now as a 22-year-old young adult, I heavily connect to this version of Peter Parker more than any other version that I've ever seen before in any version of media. It really resonates with me on a personal level more so than you know. And again, the journey that we've been on since 2016 to now, 4 years, is insane. So, Darth Pimbus, Batman is the villain of Miles Morales? Holy crap, dude. Oh, well, thanks for spoiling it, man. I'm screwed now. Game ruined, 0 out of 10, garbage. No, it's totally fine. That's perfect, though. That would be, imagine, well, actually, you're not wrong. You are correct, Darth Pimbus, because Troy Baker is in the game. He voices Simon Krieger. This isn't a spoiler, because we saw in the launch trailer. He voices Simon Krieger in the game, and Troy Baker has voiced Batman before. So technically, you're right. And we saw Simon capture Miles in the launch trailer. So really, you're not wrong. You're kind of right, actually, which is crazy. But again, Greg Connell, my man, my guy, I'm so sorry. I can't wait for Insomniac's take on the symbiote meme either, dude. It's going to be fantastic. Literally, I will say, I think I brought this up on Twitter in a thread. I don't mind being spoiled for Miles. I don't want to be spoiled for Miles, but I care more about Peter than I do for Miles. So if I say it's like 2022, we're in the future, and the sequel's revealed, and it's like a week away, for example, until the sequel comes out, and there's Venom, and there's Green Goblin. If any of that is spoiled for me, I will be elated with rage. I do not want any of the sequel spoiled for me in the slightest at all. So I totally am with you guys right there. But it's the same thing. Like if Miles is spoiled for me, which again I've seen a slight spoiler relating to Haley Cooper in the game, because we saw her in the Game Informer clip with Spider-Cat, and she's in the game as a side character. What we've read from the Daily Bugle article, so it's not really a spoiler, but I saw a thumbnail briefly on YouTube. I didn't mean to see it. It was a complete accident. It sucks since all I do is make Spider-Man videos, so I have to look up Spider-Man news, and of course, on YouTube, where I am most of the time, I get spoiled with thumbnails, which sucks. So for you guys who aren't YouTubers, who are just normal fans, who don't have a social media, platform, whatever, be careful when looking on YouTube. Don't search the game. You can wait less than 24 hours to go. There might even be some midnight releases for the game as well. My GameStop is not doing it, sadly, because safety first, COVID. They're not going to do a midnight release for Miles Morales at my local GameStop, but they will have an early morning launch tomorrow. So that's cool. I'll be sure to get it then. And of course, let me know. Send me screenshots, by the way. When you guys, if you're someone who has a PS5, and you have your PS5 set to, you pre-ordered it, it's coming, it's shipped tomorrow on the 12th. You're getting it with the remaster of Spider-Man on PS5. Send me screenshots of the Easter egg. I'd love to see it. Or you taking like a selfie with your TV with the screenshot on the screen. That'd make my day. That would be incredible. I would love to see that. Hashtag Spidey Squad. And again, like I said, like I've always said, that's because of you guys. That's of all the heart and soul you have for the character. That's why this is in the game, is because of the passion we all share together as a community, and what I believe, personally, as a family of fans. I see it as more than that. I've made so many amazing connections with people that I now cherish in my life and have met in person because of this game and the character of Spider-Man as a whole, and the group we've manifested together as a unit. And without your support, it wouldn't have gotten to this. And I am so excited to see what happens next with Miles, and of course for the sequel. I'm already seeing some kind of spam comments. Again, don't spoil it, but again, it brings an end to this stream, you guys. I think we are pretty much done here, over 2 hours. That is pretty darn sick. Thank you all for tuning in. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like on the video and the other videos I've done. If you're hyped for Miles Morales, it would really mean a lot to me, and would definitely show me that you're excited for my future content for the game. I'll obviously be doing like a review, top 5 best suits, top 5 worst suits, top 5 suit mods, since those are in the game, pointing out Easter eggs, reporting on future news for the updates at Insomniac, a live stream for Miles after I play it myself, and the remaster once that comes too. So I'm excited, guys. It's going to be great, and I cannot wait until tomorrow. But until then, everyone, thank you all so much for tuning in. Sorry if the stream wasn't longer, but I do have to go, and I'm pretty hungry. I didn't have lunch yet, but we will fix that soon. And again, final warning, by the way, I keep forgetting. I'm sorry. Message me. Message me if you're interested in the giveaway for the ultimate version of Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales with the remaster of Spider-Man on PS5. Of course, with the Ben Jordan face. Downgrade, in my opinion, sorry. But if you guys are excited for that, let me know. That way you're getting 2 games for the price of 1, and it'll all come from me. I will be, you know, I'll package it, I'll ship it, I'll deliver it, I'll pay it all for myself. You don't have to worry about a thing. But Twitter is the best way to contact me, through DMs or adding me, saying you're interested. And I would love to see your insight and your intrigue into why you're excited for Miles, what the character of Miles means to you, and what Spider-Man has done for you as a person. You know, for me, he's given me hope. He's given me something to inspire by. He's you know, helped me grow as a person. He's helped me be better as a person, and has taught me so much in life that I would never have seen anywhere else. For Peter. But for Miles, I'd love to hear that perspective of that character for you guys and see how you're excited into that version of Spider-Man versus Peter, and how that could differ, maybe even be better than Peter. If you guys are maybe like, I love Miles more than Peter, that's phenomenal. That is a great connection to have to the character, and I would be amazed to see that response for a character who's so new. You know, he was made in 2011, and he's here now in 2020 leading the launch of a next-gen console with the PS5. So that's crazy. We're in amazing times right now. It's a great time to be a Spider-Man fan, and I could not be happier. Again, I'm sorry. Bye, bro. 40 currency again from Brown Boy Plays. Thank you so much for the super chat, dude. I'm so sorry for not shouting you out sooner. I appreciate it so much. And Greg Cornell, am I getting a PS5, man? I will not. I see your message as well. I'm not getting a PS5 on launch. I don't think so. However, GameStop has said that they will have PS5 pre-orders available tonight, sometime this evening. Bundles, by the way. Not the console itself, but the console bundled with, I'm assuming, some accessories and other games. So there might be a chance you guys might get another Spider-Man game giveaway. No promises. No promises. Right now, it's just the ultimate version on PS5 with the remaster attached to it for a giveaway. And that's 1 copy. Right now, I'm only able to do 1 copy. Maybe I'll do another one down the line. Who knows? But for right now, that is what it is. But I will be here too long if I keep reading the chat and keep going back and forth with the things from people's posts. And again, love you all. We're all the Spidey Squad. We're all in this together. It means the world to me that you've stuck around this long. And I truly, truly, truly thank you for all your support. And I can't wait to see what this has in store next. But until next time, I promise. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay spectacular, Spidey fans. Peace out.